waiting for confirmation as usual.
Let's see. It says waiting.
Okay,
And okay, there it is.
There we go.
Oh,
Yes.
There we go.
okay, I've got my mic all hooked up. So is that it? Can you hear me just fine?
You sound very good. Excellent.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the stream, Elise.
Thanks. It's good to be back. I know I've been MIA recently, but
How dare you have a real life? Get a career.
just one
and
thing
actually-
after another.
She was too busy being a famous author. Yeah.
No, I mean, I am almost done writing my book. I've only got like 6 or 5 chapters left.
Whoa, that's still quite a lot of work. Yeah, good luck.
Yeah, but yep. The
Out of how
deadline
many
is in
chapters?
June.
Hmm.
So yeah, the deadline's in June. So I've got time.
All right, gotta knock 'em out. And Melty, how are you doing?
Well, aside from recovering the cold, I'm doing all right. Just well, now that I'm mostly recovered, I've been keeping myself pretty busy with a lot of projects. Like there's Forgotten Media's Oz month coming up in May,
Oh, there we go.
and the to call in Chaos episode on Archie Sonic character files that's still being worked on, which I sent Sala a rough draft of the script so far, so just waiting on his stuff to be written in before I iron out. And and I've also been working on a standalone Archie Sonic related video where I talk about some random non-canon stories, like the random Olympics story from issue 242, which, yeah, that was such a random thing that they did.
A lot of stuff to do then. And look,
Yeah.
how are you doing? Going through Morrowind again, I hear?
Well, it's maybe because like last week how Bethesda just randomly suddenly dropped a remastered version of Oblivion, which put me on a bit of a nostalgia kick for the Elder Scrolls games, and I thought I might go back to Morrowind because it was I never really fully completed it back in the day. I finished the main story, but I didn't like do all the other factions, and I didn't do a lot in that game because it was very hard. It was one of those. It was a really hard Elder Scrolls game back due to the combat and that. And I never really did the expansions because when I originally got the game, it was just the base game. So I went and got the Game of the Year edition, which should have the expansions in there. And I just mostly spent the afternoon just downloading and installing mods to improve the gameplay. It's just like tons of mods to download and install really, and to get that mod to work you just need to install another mod, and then you have to install another mod to get that to work, and then when you start it up you just pray that it all works.
What kind of mods do you have? Do you play as My Little Ponies as a main character or something?
No, I'm gonna go with the character that I originally played like 14 years ago. It was a Khajiit knight named Zileth, which is basically Felix backwards, because the Khajiit in Tamriel are cat people.
Ah, okay. Felix is a fitting name, indeed. All right.
Yeah, because I remember.
Yep.
So you go on.
No, nothing. Go ahead. About the
I was
Felix.
saying I remember boosting up the game, and I was like, I decided to check. Trying to remember what everything does, and just open up the menu. I just got all this crap, and I was like, oh. Well, how to look at all of that stuff? So
I know that.
try to remember.
I know that feeling.
Try to remember where to go and where everything is really. Because also I remember back in their game, like fast travel is very restrictive, so you can have to use public transport. But I think there's like mods where you can have more instantaneous fast travel.
All right. Yeah, that's always the problem with the RPGs when you have been gone for a while, completely lost what the story was and what you need to do. Fun, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. I remember beating Dagoth Error, so I don't have to worry about that. I just do the other stuff. Really, I haven't done in the original game.
Alrighty. Well, have fun with that. So, you and Sala, how are you feeling after the trashing you got in Worms?
Doing all right. Though I think Sala's pride has been injured because he didn't win a single match.
Well, I mean, we only had like 2 or 3, but you know.
Free.
But it's fine. It was fun. I almost won, and the only reason I didn't was because I blew myself up.
Yeah.
Go now,
Those super sheep are hard to control.
My wife had a party and invited some of her friends, but only you and Sala and me. Sorry, you look Elise and Melty Man.
Oh, and H-Hog.
Well, I mean, I was busy at work during that time, so I couldn't do it either way.
All right, but yeah, we had a big Worms match together. You played Worms,
Yeah, it was
Elise?
Huh?
You ever played Worms?
No, I've never heard of it until now.
Yeah,
Oh.
figured as much.
Yeah, I've heard of the Worm franchise. I just never really played it.
It's a weird game, man. It's more of a party game anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, just worms blowing each other up. How fun.
What's giving them silly names?
Yep.
Because I think all the
I've heard
Rogers
of,
were named after himself.
I've heard of party animals where it's like you basically just play a bunch of like plushy animals in a series of like party games, and they just kind of flop around.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, that one.
I recommend you watch Jacksepticeye's video on it because it is hilarious.
Yeah, because I do recall they're all like wander around like they're drunk. It's like, come over here, I missed you. I'll get you.
Where's the blacksmith?
So many
That's
fun
what we
games
do.
out there. You been playing that game?
No, I'm just saying, like, if I was playing that game, I would be pretending like I was drunk. It's like, come here, I missed you. 'Cause it's like party animals, more like drunk simulator.
Well, that's how you play Worms too, so fitting.
Yeah, play it while you're drunk. So so obviously it's the best game for Demo Man.
Yep.
Or as George Bush would say, blow 'em up, wee-haw!
Yeah, George Bush Jr., yeah.
Good times. Anyway, does anyone want to talk about that secret ending of Sonic 4 that was revealed this week or last week?
Yeah, it's quite surprising that, someone did some research or, like, done some digging around in an earlier version of Sonic 4 Episode 2, and they discovered, like, a cutscene that was meant to be, like, a teaser for Episode 3. And, like, for years, that was kind of like the common thing, like, yeah, there were plans for an Episode 3, but, you know, it was just word of mouth. We never really got anything, but now we actually have proof that, yes, we have visuals on what was going to happen, you know, Knuckles being there, the Master Emerald, and a bunch of robots show up. But yeah, obviously that never happened. So Sonic 4 still is sharing a roommate with Half-Life.
Yeah.
And Sonic Dark Chronicles.
Yeah, I mean, there could have been it could have been an update to the game, like if they were actually going to go through with Episode 3, where after Episode 3 was released, they could have then put in the update to put the original ending back in there, because they weren't sure of, like, if they were going to do anymore.
Yeah. Because, yeah, Episode 2 is kind of a shame, because, like, you can at least see that they were trying to do, like, something a little more unique and not the copy and paste way they did with Episode 1, but sadly, by that point, it was kind of already too little too late. So, yeah, Episode 4 came and went and no one remembers it.
Yeah.
Except for the wonderful music.
Well, there's a few good jingles, but yeah, it's just a bit of repetitiveness and Jun Sonoi's his habit of not being able to utilize good classic Sonic music, because most of the time it just sounds like he's fucking the Genesis, you know, with that that constant snare drum, you know.
Such a shame, because he was involved with Sonic 3 soundtrack, which is amazing. But yeah, who knows?
Yeah. I suppose he's just more used to working with modern technology as opposed to trying to recreate old sounds with current day technology.
Yeah, it's kind of like with Dave Manick on RT Sonic. We're like, yeah, his artwork was really good in like the very early days with the style they had going on. But when it came to like the modern Sonic style, it always felt like he really struggled and how his artwork just didn't quite adjust to that look. But yeah.
It's not easy upgrading or downgrading. Oh wow.
So yeah, we may not have episode 3, but during that same time, I heard someone decompiled the entirety of episode 1. So hey, knowing the Sonic fan base, maybe we'll get a fan-made Sonic 4 episode 1 remaster, with better physics and better music and all that jazz.
We'll see. Right. One can hope. I was kind of surprised nobody made a fan game of episode 3 yet. I guess Sonic 4 is just too generic and boring for people to even bother.
It's too traumatizing for the fan base, especially with that whole Sonic 4 boycott they tried and failed to do.
Oh well,
yeah.
Was never needed.
Yeah, that stupid boycott. It's like, oh, we hate this game that's made by Sega, so we're gonna boycott it by buying multiple copies of Sonic 1 that's also made by Sega. Yeah, that's not exactly how a boycott works.
Yeah.
Because that was pretty big, like way back then. Dumb idiots.
I get their logic, but yeah, Sonic 4 was.
Yeah, but even so, it's like Sega still kind of acknowledges it, even if they ended up retconning the ending in that new timeline they made.
Well, maybe not. Maybe Sonic 4 Episode 3 did happen just off screen. You just missed it. You blinked and missed it.
No, it's just Sega's trademark tell don't show bullshit. And I'm like, nah, fuck that. I demand proof. Show me the money.
Oh wow. Can't be helped, I guess. So, shall we move on to Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog?
Indeed.
I suppose we should.
Yeah, the episodes that Elise has been looking forward to.
Yeah.
Alright, 2 Tail-centric episodes. What's up, Euan?
Yeah, just there we go. Just uploaded the YTP intro.
Ah, there it is.
It's very important that everyone gets to watch it at the same time.
2 Tall Tales, the first episode we'll be looking at.
Yeah.
Alright, giving everyone a moment. You all got it?
Real quick, just making sure. We're all watching Melty's video, not Euan's, right?
No, it's my video first.
Oh,
Yeah.
it is Euan's first. Okay.
Yes.
2 Tall
Then
Tales.
I'm glad we clarified.
So just
No, I thought you were joking there.
No, I got them mixed up because yours was uploaded first. I guess so. Like, I'm glad we had this discussion because I would have watched the wrong one.
Fair enough.
All
2
right.
Tall Tales. In a 3,
Ready.
a 2, a 1, and go.
Eat our coconut.
I'm so hungry, I could eat
Wienerville.
Run! It's Godzilla!
After Tails! Don't let him get away! Welcome! I'm Mayor Nookwurst.
Hi, I'm hungry.
Hi, Hungry. I'm Dad.
I'm so hungry, I could eat a
packet of chocolate hobnobs.
But the old barn needs some fruit and vegetables now and then. Grounder and scratch, too. Not to mention Robotnik and coconut. Oh, right. And the grand prize, a once brand new DeLorean.
I'm so hungry, I could eat
Bertha, lovely Bertha, you are a lovely machine.
Nobody can stand the agony of defeat. Soon you will be begging to tell me what I want to know. Take this!
Okay.
Now to Euan.
Oh, poor Bertha. It would have made sense if it said only on OnlyFans.
You're
yeah.
worse.
I mean, no, Patreon does a lot of that too.
I still find it amusing. It's like, oh, Tails just suddenly went and invades the Postman Pat universe, or whatever it is that clip's from. Yeah, Postman Pat, Postman... Oh shit, giant Tails! No more Postman Pat.
No.
No more Bertha.
Poor Bertha. Oh, those British references that nobody gets except for British people.
Exactly.
I mean, I got the Postman Pat bit, yeah.
But yeah, I'm so hungry I could eat a packet of chocolate hobnobs.
Was it you who made those stop motion tanks move?
No, it was from another video.
Okay.
I mean, I should
from
obviously.
2008, yeah.
Well, it definitely looked like it came from 2008.
2008, A Space Oddity. Yeah, that was fun. Well made, Euan.
Yeah, hence why obviously me and Roger are very angry because we both had technical issues with our like stuff. Because like the YTP, well, these Vegas Pro seem to keep crashing at random points for me, and also like Photoshop failed to save my original thumbnail, so I had to redraw it again in Flash, which I think came out a little better than the original did, especially with how Professor Von Schlemmer looks, because he's just perfectly happily looking at everyone.
Yeah,
in the real world.
Yeah, hello, I'm on TV. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry if the volume was a bit too loud. Heard Sylvia complain about it. Anyway, Luke, you were doing the synopsis of this one?
Yes, I thought I'd go with this one because I know about this episode, like it's where Tails gets really big, but after watching it, I had no idea what I was getting into. So I will try and talk about this synopsis without sounding like a complete madman.
Even though you're talking about the origin of many DeviantArt fetishes today.
Of course.
Oh my gosh.
Or in some ways, this episode just shows that Tails should never be a mukbang.
Oh dear.
Oh no.
Yeah, no. I never understood the whole mukbang.
Filthy little devil.
No, I just never understood that whole mukbang or whatever that thing is. Like, oh, just people filming themselves and eating like a shit ton of food, and it's like, okay, what's the appeal of that?
A heart attack.
I don't know either.
Okay, here we go. Okay. Two Tall Tales. We start off by seeing Robotnik plan to do kinky things to Professor Von Schlemmer by tying him to a tree. The professor built Robotnik a machine which is called a Humongo Gizmo, who wants to make sure it works. After turning it on, the machine decides to give Robotnik a right spanking and then it deflates. Robotnik tells Von Schlemmer how to get it to work properly. The professor refuses unless he gets tortured, which can be arranged. However, there's no safe word. Robotnik gets out the worst torture device ever imagined, a feather which he uses to tickle Von Schlemmer's foot. It ends with a lot of apples falling on Robotnik's head. Von Schlemmer tells Scratch how to properly connect the machine, which is now up and running again. Then Robotnik puts Von Schlemmer in a cage and tells the robot in the helicopter to dump him in the darkest depths of the jungle of doom. Meanwhile, Sonic and Tails run down the road being pursued by coconuts. Tails says he is so hungry he can eat their dust. Sonic gets blue arms and says they'll get something to eat after dealing with coconuts. Sonic digs underground, creating an oil well which Coconut slips on. He then crashes into a few walls that Sonic has built. Sonic and Tails ends up in Wienerville, which is probably my hometown, but it's a town full of sentient hot dogs and sausages, which is rather horrifying. Sonic and Tails are greeted by Mayor Milkworth, who takes them to a local cafe. Tails gets a huge selection of hot dogs, which he wolfs down on. Back with Robotnik, he is busy cranking his machine. He needs something very tiny. He takes Grounder's belly button lint. It gets enlarged by the machine, and Robotnik demands more power. Grounder screws around with the machine, or was it Scratch? I think it was one of them. And with the machine, it goes.
Grounder.
It was Grounder, yeah. He screws around the machine, and it goes haywire. The machine blows up in Robotnik's, and the machine blows up in Robotnik and the robot's faces, and a tree falls on them. After clearing out the cafe, and without paying the lucky bugger, Tails gets directed to the local ice cream parlor for dessert. Sonic looks up to see a giant mustard-coloured cloud above the town of Wienerville. Tails breathes in the strange gas, and a scene that 1,000 would-be DeviantArt artists would be enjoying occurs when Tails not only gets bigger and bigger as a giant, but also gets somewhat fatter as well. Giant Tails' appetite is now out of control, so now he starts to eat the buildings of Wienerville like some kind of kaiju. He then walks off to find more food. Sonic saves the mayor from a falling sign, even though there was plenty of time for him to move. Sonic tells Giant Tails, who is eating a tree, he'll figure out what to do as they get a surprise visit from Robotnik. So Robotnik tells the Wieners that it was Sonic who was behind everything, and that he is innocent in what is going on. He even brought presents. Robotnik then talks to the sausages on how Sonic and Tails destroyed the town. Giant Tails then goes around eating anything.
Luke, you disappeared?
Luke, you cut out.
Give him a second.
He got eaten by Tails.
Robotnik
Oh no.
now has an angry mob of sausage. Am I back now?
Yes, you're back.
Yes, you're back.
When did I cut off?
The presents? Right after the presents?
Alright. Robotnik then talks to the sausages on how Sonic and Tails destroyed the town. Giant Tails then goes around eating anything he could find, including a full cart of melons. Tails emits a burp so loud it caused an earthquake, causing the citizens of Wienerville to freak out. Robotnik now has an angry mob of sausages which he commands to go after Tails. Robotnik leaves to return to his fortress, leaving Scratch and Grounder in charge. Sonic overhears Scratch and Grounder talking about Von Schlemmer and his enlargement gas, so he steps in as a bodybuilding coach, telling him he's going to turn them into supermodels. After some heavy training, Scratch and Grounder go on stage to flex their muscles, but they were flexing so hard they started to sweat, which made them short-circuit. Sonic then gives them the interview portion, where they reveal where the professor is hidden. Sonic declares it a tie, so he gives them a trophy each and prize money worth 1 cent, but they get a brand new car as well. Scratch and Grounder drive off in the new car, but Sonic forgets to give them the steering wheel. Deep in the jungle of doom, which is full of watchful eyes, Sonic finds Professor Von Schlemmer in a deep pit and is busy doing a crossword. Sonic comes back with a crane and hauls the professor out. Von Schlemmer tells Sonic the antidote for the gizmo gas, which is the scent of the Hootentoot garlic that is in a garden guarded by a wizard lizard and is full of booby traps. In the Garden of Eden, baby, Sonic finds the wizard lizard sleeping. He swipes the special garlic and avoids the traps. Meanwhile, Giant Tails is backed into a corner as angry sausages yell at him. Sonic returns with the Hootentoot garlic, only to be told he's too late, as Robotnik has a huge freeze cannon aimed at Tails. So, acting quickly, Sonic builds a giant wiener launcher, which has a huge chili dog with the garlic inside it. Sonic launches the giant chili dog as Robotnik fires his freeze ray. The chili dog gets there first, which Tails eats and returns to normal size. The freeze ray bounces off a rock wall, which directs and freezes Robotnik and the Dumbots. Now Robotnik is exactly like Jack Nicholson at the end of The Shining, apart from the fart spitting. The day is saved, and Tails is looking forward to a big sausage party. The end. In the Sonic Says segment, Sonic tells Tails about the basic food groups.
Indeed.
The end.
The end.
Yeah.
Yeah, always remember, eat healthy. Don't end up like Tails.
Yeah, what kind of a story was that? Stupid! I just wonder what the writers were doing when they were writing the episode. They probably took a load of LSD, played a bit of Sonic, watched some Looney Tunes, like, right, we've got an idea for an episode.
Yeah. Whilst also going.
Yeah.
It's the mandatory character turns into a giant episode that was pretty common in like the 80s and 90s.
Yeah. I remember that in the Super Mario Bros. Super Show.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the Koopzilla episode. Yeah.
Worst part is the next episode is even more insane, so we're not done yet. But yeah, for this episode, man,
Yeah, like what's the deal with that green pineapple that Sonic has?
that is a very good question. Oh well, exotic Mobian fruits, I guess.
Very unhealthy looking pineapple.
Or it's a very like leafy sort of melon.
Oh, it could be. Yeah.
I think it's supposed to be watermelon, yeah. That happens to have some lettuce behind it or something. I don't know. But hey, lucky for us that Tails never tried to eat this citizen, since they were sausages as well. A ton of shit.
Yeah, that is surprising. Like, you think there'd be a part where he'd hallucinate about, like, the sausages being, like, regular, and he's like, oh boy, sausages, and tries to eat them. But no, he managed to have self-control, or at least some self-control.
Yeah.
Still, you barely see him check if any of the houses he eats, if there's still people inside. I mean, we see the people escape, but Tails never bothers to check, so... Look, I'm hungry as well, but that's a little too exaggerated.
Well, I mean, Tails admits that he's like, oh, he's so hungry that he can't control himself in this giant size, yeah.
Little psycho.
I do like that. Like as Tails is growing, he's like, "Oh man, this is awesome," and then just immediately changes his mind. Like not even 2 seconds later, he's like, "I don't like this anymore."
It's like, oh boy, I get to be big, and then next scene is like, actually, I changed my mind.
I also think they repeated. I also think they repeated a plot point about Sonic has to go into this garden that's guarded by a dragon or something to get some kind of special thing.
Yeah, the Breezy episode.
But here it's even more of a joke since it's over in like 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Like the dragon doesn't even wake up or do anything.
The wizard lizard.
The wizard,
Yeah, because they like actually have this lizard creature and such all built up for it, but then they realise, oh crap, I've only got like less than a few minutes left to round up the episode.
Yeah.
Not enough time to just grab it and get out.
Oh wow.
Sure enough, that's what happened.
Good times. Still kind of funny.
Yeah. Then of course the episode's also noticeable as despite the fact that we covered the character on a previous stream, this episode is actually the first introduction of good old Professor von Schlemmer.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. We saw him before in Boogie Mania.
Oh right, but we watched that episode ahead of time, yeah, because it's
Yeah, because
Halloween.
Halloween episode.
All right, cool. So we saw his first episode. That's nice.
So just chuckling at that one screenshot that I think Luke saved, of where he wrote down like the moment the Viagra kicks in.
Oh yeah.
Oh that one. Yeah.
Hold on.
Good morning, Stefan.
Yeah, Professor von
Oh.
Stiffen. Yeah.
Jesus. Oh my god.
He's getting a visit from Kanye West. Sorry.
Elise is not amused.
Sorry.
Fine, I guess that's a British joke, yeah.
Some wonderful face expressions, yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, that face expression, it looks more like he's on crack. I'm on crack!
All throughout this episode, I kept thinking of the Robotnik Gets His Jollies YouTube poop.
Yeah.
So much of that was taken from this episode.
Yeah, I was supposed to remember a few different ones. Like, one I could think of was like a YouTube poop tennis match that someone did. I think it was the Chairman or Boogity Boo, but it was this whole bit like, oh, why is my penis very tiny? And then as the tennis match goes on, they would replace the ending with like something else.
Oh yeah.
When I started watching this episode, though, I was like, the further we got into it, I just thought, oh no, because
that is a correct
like,
thought.
it's like I'm going on a live stream today to talk about this, and I know how certain members of this circle of friends operate.
Yeah,
I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, hence why I included that one bit at the end. For my
I
wife,
probably should have told Roger. He should have gotten that clip of me. Elise is not amused. Picture ready, because I have a feeling you're going to be using it quite a bit.
Yeah, Euan, send it to me. I don't have it with me.
Hold on, I'll just send it over to the live chat.
While we're waiting on that, something I love about this episode is how convinced Robotnik is that like getting the citizens of Wienerville on his side will help him take over the world. I don't know why he's so sure of that. He's like, if I get these people to believe I'm a hero, then I can conquer Mobius.
I just imagine how it's pretty ridiculous when you hear Robotnik saying, "Arise, my army of sausages."
They're a bunch of weenies. They'll do anything I say.
Oh shoot.
Okay, let's try again.
Even though there's a whole bunch of these sausage people, The only ones we really talk to are Mayor Knockwurst and the great and powerful waitress.
Oh yeah, because I think that's
that is
Kathleen
Kathleen
Barr.
Barr.
Yeah, now that I think about it, it's like, oh yeah, she does kind of pull off her Trixie voice in this cartoon. Just a little more southern to it.
Yeah, it's just the Trixie voice with a southern accent.
Yeah. Surprised they never did that in the show. Like, if they did like a bit of Trixie mocking Applejack or something, that could have been amusing.
I don't think Trixie ever interacted with Applejack other than like the one time in Ghostbusters. Yeah.
Yeah, like outside of Ghostbusters, yeah, she never interacted with Applejack. It was usually Twilight or Starlight or some other character.
Isn't it awfully convenient that only Tails was hit by the smoke, even though the cloud came over the entire town?
Yeah.
Yeah, like it doesn't affect the rest of the people or like the buildings or anything. Yeah, because I don't think there's like a clear rule on what exactly can be affected by the growth thingy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
was expecting like Robotnik scratching Grounder to grow, but instead they decide like, no, we can't have that. Drop a tree on them. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you'd think Robotnik would do it to himself, so he'd be like all giant. It's like, waha! I'll squash you all like bugs. You know, that kind of deal.
Maybe that was the intent, and he was just like, he would have if the machine didn't break.
Oh yeah.
That's a good point. We don't know what his original plan was.
I am looking at that Tails screenshot there where he's like walking in the clouds above him, and it's like, man, he's really high.
Yeah, all that smoke is what he expelled.
Was it? What did he say?
That's all. That orange smoke is what he, like expelled from his mouth. It's like,
there we go. Yeah, it's like, oh man, Sonic, I've got the serious munchies.
No.
It would explain why he just kept
Tails
eating
is so
everything.
hungry in this episode.
Yeah.
There's a lot of ways you can interpret this episode, and none of them are making Elise amused.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Why do you think I'm so quiet over here?
Yeah, I suppose it's definitely a good thing that only Tails was hit by the smoker. We definitely have jokes about the sausages growing.
Oh,
yeah.
No.
When I first saw the smoke, I thought, oh no, it's mustard gas.
Oh.
Mustard gas. The secret of the secret of Professor Von Schlimmer's gizmo, Viagra.
Oh no.
No, it's a joke of when like people would put like, oh, if you want to hack, make this, you do this, and someone goes, oh, don't do that, it makes mustard gas.
Yeah. The nasty stuff.
Because it is surprisingly easy to accidentally do that.
Yeah.
But still, am I the only one that's kind of creeped out that we have like living hot dogs as people now? That feels kind of scary.
Yeah, I thought it was disturbing in Sonic Underground, where all of the chili dog vendors were pigs.
This is even worse.
This is taking it a step further.
Well, now that I think about it, I'm like, maybe this is the episode where Sonic Boom got that one episode about like the whole army of living chili peppers or whatever.
Oh, I remember that episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, wiener people or chili pepper people? Pick your poison.
But it does leave the question of like what exactly constitutes of like the wieners basically being like sentient beings to edible food.
That's a painful question.
Because there's like a factory, and of course that's just like slowly dropping all these wieners into like a dump truck. It's like,
also,
here we go, wieners for Mobius for everyone.
I've been
They're eating
thinking
their own children.
Yeah, I was just thinking that like a freaking hot dog comes out of the kitchen. Timmy, it's time for dinner. Timmy,
no.
Pretty morbid. Yeah.
I also been thinking, if Adventures of the Hedgehog is canon in the rebooted Archie universe, does it mean that Mobius also has a Wienerville?
I mean, Archie Sonic does have elements from Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, like, Scratch and Grounder and Breezy, like their own take on Breezy, which is the definitive Breezy. But to answer your question, no, we never got any wiener people in Archie Sonic.
But that doesn't mean they don't exist.
Yeah. think Elise must have taken some of that gas because she's suddenly grown a lot on the screen.
My height keeps getting bigger and bigger.
She's been not amused for too long that she's grown to kaiju size.
Her unamusement is growing.
And her laughs will create thunderous earthquakes. Yeah.
And everyone will shout, "Run! It's Godzilla!"
It's Godzilla. God, this episode is so freaking wacky. I love that, like, the torture that Robotnik decides. He, like, goes through specifically things that he thinks won't work, like an Iron Maiden, a whip. And he decides, no one can stand tickler torture.
Yeah, it works just fine. Just try it on my previous victim, Elmo.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, tickle
It's
me
like,
Elmo.
oh man, not
You
the
might wanna
family-friendly
enlarge that icon
torture.
again, Roger.
Because I mean, the one thing that I noticed, like when I was typing in the episode name, because I was trying to find like a decent, like quality video of it for the YTP, and yet when I was just about finished typing, I noticed like there were 2 search results popping up: Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog 2 Tall Tales, and the other one being the episode number 2 Tall Tales with the added feet tickle. So that shows how many people have been typing that down.
Oh no!
Jeez.
Oh yeah!
Oh, none of us are amused.
Oh dear.
No one's amused at all.
Yeah. Just the internet and their kink shaming stuff.
And also, if you look at the peaked moments in the episode, I think it's like where Tails eats the chili dogs.
What
was that?
If you watch the episode on YouTube, there's like these peaked areas, which is I think is like the most popular.
Oh, the most viewed, most replayed. Oh, close up with me. Hi, hello everyone.
Yeah, and those bits are like where Tails eats the chili dogs.
Oh,
Like when
okay.
he's at the diner there, yeah.
Very popular.
But apparently that's the most viewed part of it, then clearly that's been like people that watch mukbang for too long.
Probably, yeah.
I always just expect the most viewed parts of these are just references to YouTube poops.
Hell yeah.
People wanting to watch the original.
Yeah, like I remember the whole After Tales bit. I remember that was used quite a lot in like older YouTube poops where they would just screw around with the audio, sounding like, oh, slower paced, or oh, it's high paced, or fast paced. Yeah, like After Tales, After Tales, After Tales, that kind of deal.
After Tales.
Yeah. Not as iconic as Lock Up the Throttle, but close enough.
Yeah. Also, there was a weird thing that, like, both this episode and the next episode reference Mark Antony from Julius Caesar.
Mark Antony.
Oh yeah. Yeah, friends, Romans,
Oh!
sausages.
Oh, that one.
Yeah, that.
Yeah. It was it was friends, sausages, and Mobians.
Yeah, that's it.
And then the next episode has friends, Mobians, fellow evil robots.
Yeah, it's quite the coincidence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no country, man. Nobody likes country.
No, nobody likes the countrymen.
Yeah, no one likes the country.
No country for
And-
Mo people.
For Mo people.
Hey,
Does
but-
Mobius have countries? I don't know.
But does Wieners not qualify as Mobians? Are they aliens? If Mobians are a separate category.
No, I guess wieners are like their own race in Adventures of Sonic.
And now I have to consider the biology of wiener people.
Oh, please don't. Please
yeah,
don't.
like how the hell do they reproduce? Yeah.
Are they like? Do they have organs? Do they bleed?
Well,
Yeah.
ever
Do
seen
do
Sausage
they
Party?
bleed meat or... Yeah.
I unfortunately have, yes.
So have I.
Yeah,
like-
it's just...
What is going on with these people?
It's an episode that just raises too many questions.
Yeah.
And not just because of the actual plot. It's the little things, like what the hell with
It's
these...
all the little things.
Yeah, it's all the little things, like the sentient sausage people.
And how the heck Grounder apparently has belly button lint.
That is also a good question, yeah.
It looks more like straw, yeah.
The weenie capital of Mobius. And even like, yeah, it's on screen right now. Oh, nope, never mind.
Wait, what do you want on screen?
The weightlifting or the bodybuilder competition thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Sonic's not even in disguise at that point.
That's a good point.
Yeah. There.
He's just himself.
Yeah, he doesn't put on a suit or anything. No, it's just Sonic and scratching down and just go along with it.
Like he was wearing a disguise to start with, and then he just takes it off, and he's just normal, and they don't even notice.
It's like, oh hey, it's a competition about for us. We're the stars. We gotta, show off our funky stuff.
Trying to boost their egos, I guess.
Yeah.
Also, we got confirmation Sonic has chest hair, so good to know. One strand.
Well, at least that disguise
that
does.
Disguise, yeah. I guess it's fake chest hair, yeah.
It's one single strand.
Yep.
Yeah. That'll be funny if he did. It's like it takes off the costume. It's like, ha! I fooled you, dumb bots. Like, ow! I forgot I really grew that chest hair.
I'm just having a bit of a chuckle just because of where Roger's positioned Elise's head, just like above the bush. So she's like not very happy at what Scratch is saying to Grounders. Like, what did you just say?
Yeah. My boy. Yeah. Especially with what's with that bit with
well, looks like I'm coming out of the bush.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, what's with scratching that the panel like next to it? It looks like it has this very pouty looking face. He's like, oh, I want to ride. You want to stay here? No. No, I wanted to go back to the fortress.
I find it funny. You scratch when he was exploded. He had such a wonderful face there. Oh yeah, go ahead, Sala.
There was that moment towards the end where Professor Von Schlimmer has like blueprints for a wiener launcher, and he's like, I can have it built in 15 months. And Sonic's like, I can have it built in 15 seconds, and then he built it in like 2 seconds.
The liar.
A new record.
Yeah, that was the fastest 15 seconds ever.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like for you.
And the entire time, Robotnik has his freeze ray just pointed at Tails, ready to go any second. He's just waiting for no reason.
Yeah, maybe the programming in that is just being slow. It's like, it's the last time I program a weapon of mass destruction with Windows 98.
I mean, that would have been pretty advanced for this episode.
Yeah.
98?
Oh, yeah, because, this is like 93, I think, yeah.
Windows 3.1 still.
Maybe he was using a Commodore 64 or something.
I really need to upgrade from MS-DOS. Oh my god.
But yeah, it's like, speaking of the weird logic about the wiener stuff, like, what about, like, that last one? It's like, yo, they launch it and, like, okay, it flies, like, through the air, so, like, is there, like, jet engines shoved into that sausage or something?
Especially launch physics.
Yeah, like, launch physics, yeah.
Maybe the chili is so intense it just launches by itself.
Yeah. It's so spicy.
Yeah, so spicy.
That it achieves lift. Because heat causes things to rise.
Yeah.
What, do you want a drum for that?
No.
I was just mostly thinking of Abbott and Costello bit. Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, tell me, what makes a balloon go up? Hot air. What's holding you down? Yeah. Yuck, yuck, yuck.
Yuck, yuck, yuck.
Classic. So, anything else?
Let's see.
Well,
How about that frozen Robotnik making farting noises?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The Shining.
Yeah, I hate that hedgehog.
Yeah, that was kind of random,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and my nominee for goofiest face of the day as well.
Oh yeah, with Sonic looking up there. He's got such a tiny muzzle there. Yeah.
Yeah. Simultaneously tiny and massive.
Yeah. Like the snout is tiny, and then the rest is massive. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so
His mouth is so weird.
It kind of looks like an old man kind of mouth. Yeah, like, "Ah, you damn kid, get off the lawn!"
Kind of like
Kid, get off my ice cream!
resembles a classic Beano character.
You know?
Yeah.
British,
I
more
know,
British references.
Oh, British.
Yeah.
Oh.
The British thing.
Okay.
Comic. But I'm just trying to recall, like, which character you're referring to.
I mean, I think like the style of the old Beano characters, like Biffo, Lord Snooty, those kind of.
Oh yeah, those guys. Yeah. Definitely remember those ones.
Corky.
Not related to
Actually,
Porky Pig.
No, I said Corky, like Corky the cat.
Okay.
Yeah, I heard him say Corky. Yeah.
Okay, I didn't hear it properly. Apparently, Rhino's hoping that by the end of the series we'll rank all of Sonic's full disguises.
We already
like
know
a
what.
follow-up video of ranking all of his disguises.
We already know the winner. It's nothing that he has in this episode during the competition.
Well, by the end of the series, he meant. So
Yeah, okay, but for
all of the disguises from 65 episodes.
Well,
Yeah.
my current nominee is already Sonic wearing nothing, like in this episode. Perfect.
Well, I guess we could do it, because, I mean, we never did that whole Sonic Underground, like, ranking thing. It's like, yeah, we ranked the songs, but we never did that whole, alright, which is the definitive song? So I
Yeah.
guess we can make up for it with the disguises.
Yeah.
I think for Sonic Underground, I think we agreed that we had to leave the theme song out because that would be the
The winner.
number one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't unanimously agree that. But
I suppose
Because
that's
I-
true.
because I said that We're the Sonic Underground is the best song in the series, including the theme song. But it didn't get a perfect score.
Yeah.
So-
Cheeky Luke.
But alright, I guess we can do a disguises competition at the end of this.
Oh, yeah.
If you still remember all of them.
Oh yeah.
And also,
Yeah,
that
that-
screenshot you're on right now, when did Sonic become a squid?
That's a good
Oh, yeah. Sonic being addicted to Splatoon.
Yep. I also just love that screenshot of Sonic just standing there with a smile on his face as everyone is storming at Tails in anger.
I think it's just a realization, like they're literally just sausages that walk and talk, and the fact that
It
he on a
just hit
regular
him.
basis.
Yeah.
He's like,
It's
wait
like-
a second, this is ridiculous.
The lost Sonic storybook game, Sonic and the Butcher Shop.
He also kind of looks like he's about to put his leg forward to make them trip over him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
No.
Godfaroth channel said, I like how the commentaries have all been about the wiener people and not the giant tails. Like how inconsistent his sizes and even proportions are.
Oh yeah, it is kind of.
He makes a good point!
Yeah.
There is certainly a lot in this episode
Yeah.
focused
Yeah.
on, and we've. Yeah, it's definitely Tails being that giant is weird. There's a lot of animation errors going on, but like that's not even the top 5 weird things in this episode.
Yeah, like sentient weenie people.
Yeah.
I'd probably go to Weenie Hut Juniors on occasion.
And Sonic tricking Scratch and Grounder without even a disguise.
Yeah.
As well as just showing like how tiny Sonic is there.
Oh yeah, I just noticed that. Like what the hell happened? I guess Scratch and Grounder also got affected by the gas.
Yeah.
It finally took effect to them by growing them 1 inch taller.
God. It's so crazy.
It is insane. I have to wonder what the heck were these creators on when they made this episode?
A lot of LSD.
Yeah, they're on crack, just like Professor Von Schlimmer.
Oh, I think crack is too weak for this.
Yeah.
No, they were trying stuff from the 60s.
Yeah.
The real question for Elise is: do you want to hire this writer for your own book? His name is Ralby Gorin.
Or
Even the name! What the? What kind of name is Ralby Gorin?
It almost sounds like Robbie Gourmet or something.
No wonder this episode's weird. They got some eldritch abomination to write it.
Maybe it was an anonymous writer and he just wanted to go by that name to hide himself.
Alien came down to Earth. And he's just like, I have one mission, and it is to write an episode of Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog.
A noble mission indeed.
And planet Earth will know me as Wobby Gourmet.
Hit the nail on the head.
Yeah, it had to outsource the writers from the
Netherrealm.
Netherrealm.
This episode.
Yeah. Like, for some reason, I can't say that first name without having that kind of, like, Elmer Fudd lips to it. You know, Wobby Gourmet.
Wow.
Maybe it was Elmer Fudd and Anonymous.
Well, just having a quick check, and apparently he also wrote the Boogie Mania episode.
Of course, yeah.
I guess that explains it. The guy who wrote this episode is the same guy who wrote the infamous Pingish bit.
He's just
He's worked on so many cartoons. Oh my god.
yeah,
He's got experience here.
the Californian Raisins show.
California Raisins, Super Mario Brothers Super Show, Ninja Turtles, Captain Planet, Bill and Ted, Tasmania. What the? There's a Rambo cartoon?
Yeah, you aware there was a Rambo cartoon?
I did not know there was a Rambo cartoon.
Yeah, I mean, if he worked on the California Raisins, that might explain the weenie people in this episode.
Oh,
Yeah.
No.
At least his photo yeah, it does. His photo shows the exact person I was expecting, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just saying your screen's gone black, Roger.
Yeah, stream went blank.
Oh, the stream's black.
There you go, now it's back.
Okay.
Oh my god!
That is our new hero right there.
All hail Wobby going.
Oh my gosh!
So
What a guy.
So I guess again, Elise, you want to hire this guy to help with your book?
Well, I mean, if he's still
I think
around,
I'll pass.
I mean, is this guy even still around nowadays?
As far as I can tell, yeah. He's got his own
wow.
website.
Yeah, that surprises me. Like, yeah, he's got his own website.
His last credit is 2012, though, so he might be with retirement.
Yeah, it sounds like he's being retired.
What a shame. But he left us with much work to check out.
You also have a Transformers as well, like including Beast Wars.
I have to say though, Sala, this is the most I've heard you get worked up on our shit.
Well, I mean, weren't you around when Sala and Euan were having that whole argument about the whole thinking bit?
Yes, I was.
Oh
yeah. Let's all put on our thinking caps.
Yeah, I mean, I
another
was
thing
there.
coming. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but it's like this is like the first time I've heard like your voice kind of spike more than usual.
I think the first time I remember his voice spiking was it was way back then where we covered like a few Sonic Dash and Spin mangas, and we covered the one with Shadow, and he was just like kind of like all over because he wasn't so used to the wacky humor of the mangas.
Yeah. Yeah, those definitely caught me off guard as well.
Oh, the first one you guys showed me when I was on the stream?
Yeah.
Oh, good grief.
So weird. They are very Japanese.
Yeah, very Japanese. Especially with all the Japanese cultural stuff they throw in there, like, oh, Sonic and friends go hunting for mushrooms, or oh, they're climbing a summon with Robotnik dressed as a hermit, and... But yeah, maybe we'll get back to the mangas one of these days.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Oh my god.
Also, I'll be happy to announce that apparently Robbie won an Emmy Award for his comedy writing. So I'm not sure if it was this episode, but there you go.
Oh.
Yeah, you know
what? An award
he's earned it.
Yeah, for creating the pingish meme, he deserves it.
You know what? Yeah. You know what? That is like culturally significant. I'm glad to know the man who wrote the Pingus line has an Emmy.
Yeah, eat your heart out, Pontes.
Yeah. Oh my god. Okay.
That was a great discovery.
Yes. I'm glad we decided to go down this little rabbit hole.
Yeah. Questioning the writer and the sentient sausage people here.
All just because Roger wanted to make a joke about the writer of this episode helping Elise.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right.
I think we should move on.
Yeah, before we all...
Time for the next episode.
Yep.
Yep.
So,
Alrighty. Go ahead, Melty.
Now we're doing Melty's intro.
Yeah, so, I got to do the intro for this one. I have returned!
Yep, I've pinned it in live stream planning.
Alright. I hope the volume isn't too loud again. I can't check it now.
Yeah. Well, I usually try to keep it loud. Oh, yeah, I'm not sure if it's on your end or if it was my end. Or Euan's end when he did the video.
I think it was just because the footage that I copied apparently came out very loud for some reason. Not sure why.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes it's better to be louder than being quiet, because at least you can turn it volume down as opposed to trying to crank up everything, but you can still barely hear anything.
Yeah. Because, when I've edited these intros, I usually try to keep the... I have an audio bar next to the editing stuff, and I usually try to keep it at, like, 12 or so, because that's kind of like the stuff that I learned from, taking film classes, Keep the audio level, like, in that area. That's, like, the perfect, stable sounding audio. Yeah.
Okay.
So, everyone got the link?
Ready.
I'm ready.
Yep.
Alright, then a 3, a 2, and a 1. Tills home.
I can see you!
Pumpkins in my pocket. What's the big idea?
Robot! Swing your arms from side to side. I'll have to give myself up. What's my life? Ah, yes. I'll have to give myself up.
I wish I could forget.
And on that adorable note, let's move to Till's new home.
Yeah, I'm sure Elise appreciates the ending there.
Yeah, I'll admit that was cute.
Yeah. Because I always said that Adventures of Tails is like my favorite when it comes to kid voice actors that have voiced Tails.
Yeah, especially when he's baby here.
He's adorable. Yeah. We'll get to that.
Also, I love how Melty Man's face looked on the little bow straightening. That worked very good in your YouTube clip.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I wish I could forget about Sonic Heroes. Yeah.
Forces. Wait, about Sonic Heroes?
They give me Forces.
Sonic
Forces, yeah. Whoops. It's the sausage people, man. They've rotted my brain.
Their mere existence rotted your brain.
Yeah. Well, yeah, there's a few jokes I'm proud of, like the whole like Donald Duck bit with Sonic, like lip syncing to that, and then the whole like, oh, I have to give myself a promotion, and just completely diverting expectations on that.
That's my line.
Getting himself an Indian burial ground.
Yeah, because I was skimming through like that was from like a Treehouse of Horror thing, and I was gonna use like one of them, and then I'm like, oh, let's kind of end with the whole, yeah, I'll have to give myself an Indian burial ground.
How random. Alrighty.
Well, that's the joys of YTPs.
Indeed it is. Indeed it is. Sala, you were doing the synopsis of this one?
I am indeed.
Alrighty.
And I did not rehearse this at all because I just finished it before we started.
Oopsie oops.
Anyway, our episode begins with Tails fleeing an ungrounded grounder. Tails is so scared that his voice drops several octaves and then he turns inside out. Scratch fires a crossbow with hands that grab onto Tails and tethers him to the ground. Sonic arrives and seems to be in no hurry to help as he quickly abandons Tails, jumps on the grounder, and pulls out some fried chicken and orange juice out of the bot's insides. I guess Grounder just has concessions. The flight may have food, but it still has no movie, and Sonic covers Grounder's eyes and uses reverse psychology to trick him into flying into a building. Sonic finally remembers that Tails is in a predicament and goes to rescue him, cutting the rope. Tails falls out of the tree and hurts himself. Sonic is so distraught that he briefly erases the universe. Sonic begins carrying the injured Tails in a little red wagon. Despite Tails' protest to allow him to fly himself, or at least go faster, Sonic is now convinced that it's too dangerous. Sonic takes Tails to a home of two storks who are looking to actually adopt a baby for once. Unfortunately, they almost burn their house down, kill a goldfish, and then completely flood the house, which ends up destroying the whole building. Sonic and Tails realize that safety is not something to be found here. So instead, Sonic takes Tails to the home of the retired Sergeant Doberman, who very clearly has not adjusted to retirement very well and immediately begins drilling them. After almost being bombed by his wife, Sonic and Tails decide that this isn't the best home either. Sonic dislocates his entire arm and spin dashes away. We then see Sonic and Tails having breadless chili dogs by a campfire as Tails tries to convince Sonic to give up on this endeavor of finding him a new family, but Sonic is undeterred as we cut to commercial. Little did they know that they are being watched, and Scratch and Grounder have a new trick up their sleeves. They set up a talking billboard with a picture of a baby Tails asking if anyone has seen a lost child. Suddenly both Sonic and Tails have a change of heart, as Tails is excited to meet his real parents, while Sonic now sounds unsure. At the idyllic home of the Idylls, Tails is immediately pampered with toys, video games, and desserts. He's promised safety and security. It's everything Sonic wanted, and yet Sonic feels sad. After a brief goodbye, Sonic leaves Tails in the care of his parents, but oh no, they were robots all along! As soon as Sonic is out of earshot, they reveal themselves and take away the gifts they gave him. Robotnik is so pleased with himself that he has to give himself a promotion! Meanwhile, Sonic has to keep convincing himself that what he did was the right thing to do. Sonic reminisces about how they met, and we go into a flashback. Sonic is running along floating roads, as he does, when he suddenly feels the unquenchable urge to dance, and comes to a complete stop in the middle of the road. As he breaks it down, he also breaks the fall of a baby two-tailed fox that fell out of the sky. Sonic is initially annoyed, but the surprisingly eloquent baby fox apologizes and tells Sonic that he was trying to live in a bird nest, but got kicked out. Sonic informs the baby that he's not a bird, which comes as a shock to him since he can fly. Sonic tells him that foxes can't fly, but the baby fox immediately proves him wrong. The baby fox asks Sonic if he can live with him, since he's been lost for so long that he doesn't have a family, but Sonic is unwilling to slow down for someone, immediately abandoning the lost baby. Fortunately, it catches up to him and decides to show the blue blur his awesome crying skills, causing Sonic to slip on his tears, but the fox catches him. Sonic agrees to let the baby fox accompany him temporarily, and the fox is overjoyed. Sonic asks him what his name is, and the baby fox regretfully reveals that his name is Miles, and that he hates the name. Sonic accommodates by offering to call him something else and comes up with the name Tails, which seems really insensitive, but the newly christened Tails is overjoyed, excited over all the good things happening to him in such a short time. The flashback ends and Sonic puts together the fact that Tails' parents referred to him as Tails instead of Miles. He immediately heads back to the Idylls' home where Robotnik has just arrived on the scene. Robotnik gets a little too excited about the bound and gagged miner before having Scratch test his new magnetic sneaker gripper hedgehog trapper rug. as well as the Ceiling Squasher Sonic Smasher Cruncher, both of which work flawlessly as intended. Robotnik asks Scratch and Grounder to deliver the ransom note, but Sonic, disguised as Sylvia, tells them that only an official Mobian postman can deliver letters. Sonic then immediately pretends to commit a felony by opening someone else's mail and starts critiquing Robotnik's spelling and grammar. Sonic reveals himself and ties up the robotic parents, who somehow turn into applesauce, I guess. Sonic unties Tails and tells him to leave, but when Tails refuses, Sonic threatens to reveal his real name, and Tails is so terrified that he bowls through Robotnik, Scratch, Grounder, and the wall behind them. Robotnik orders Scratch to activate his machine, but Sonic ties the test sneaker to Robotnik, causing him to get magnetized to it instead. Sonic immediately decides that, instead of helping Scratch immediately decides that, instead of helping Robotnik, to just wait until Tuesday in hopes that Robotnik will lose his voice from yelling, but Grounder is more loyal and forces them to stay. Sonic puts his disguise back on and delivers what he claims is fan mail for Scratch and Grounder, which he uses to trick them into setting off the second half of Robotnik's trap on them. As they walk, Sonic apologizes to Tails for getting them in a mess and being unable to find Tails' family. Tails tells him he already found his family and that Sonic is his family. Aww. Just then they run into Coconut, who is running away from home. Sonic gaslights Coconut into believing that living with Robotnik is better than being homeless. The end.
Yeah, that's still kind of a funny way how they ended it. It's like, oh yeah, it's relevant to the episode with the Sonic Says thing, but it's on poor Coconut. So Sonic's like, yeah, you can either get killed and die in the real world, or get killed and die by your abusive owner.
Yeah. Yeah. and Coconut seems pretty convinced as well. He's like, because it wasn't that bad.
Until he realised why he ran away, because he accidentally broke something of Robotnik's, and it's like when he gets back, Robotnik is just going to have a massive go at him again.
It's generally interesting that Sonic considers the outside world more dangerous than Robotnik anyway.
Yeah,
like, Robotnik is a safer place to be. Trust me.
Like, guys, writers, I get the message. You don't want kids to just run away from home because it's dangerous. But Coconuts is not exactly the best example.
Yeah, like if you use like a random kid, that'd work just fine. But you have Coconuts, who's already an established character.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't run away from your abusive parents.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, that is not a good message anymore, guys.
I mean, this episode didn't show a single good parent anyway, well, except Sonic, I guess.
You know what?
Yeah, that's true. Like, the first ones were too clumsy, and the second one was too drill sergeant, and the others were fakes. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, even the disguises weren't exactly good parents, because they were just giving Tails everything he wants, including double desserts.
Yeah, because, like, when you were a kid, that's, like, the stuff you'd want. It's like, yeah, like, more desserts, video games, yeah, good stuff.
Yeah.
But, yeah, man, this episode, by coincidence, this is, like, it's the second time I keep bringing up a Sonic Boom comparison, but this one I have a lot to say on, mostly because, like, the first episode of Sonic Boom starts off with that similar premise, like, oh, Tails doesn't want to get hurt. Yeah, Tails got hurt, and Sonic doesn't want him to get hurt, so he finds something to do. But like, they're very different, and I always consider Adventures of Sonic the better one, mostly because this type of story happens much later, so we're already used to like who the characters are and whatnot. So it makes the the impact a bit sad when Sonic really is sad about having to let go Tails for his own safety.
Yeah.
In Sonic Boom's case, it's the first freaking episode. We barely get any time to get used to this version of Sonic and Tails. And the way Sonic handles the whole protection of Tails thing just really sounds like he really doesn't give a shit. It's just, oh, hey, Tails, I'm gonna find a new sidekick, so fuck off. So, I mean, that was my impression of that episode. Yeah.
We also did a Sonic Boom episode where Knuckles tried to find his family.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think this episode was actually the second one aired in America, so it's not entirely that far in the series. Even though it's technically
I think this was... Well, I mean, I've seen this one listed as, like, episode 11 or so.
Yeah,
so at least it's been... Yeah. I don't know, like, the number dates can be a bit mixed up with this show.
Yeah, that's always with the old TV shows, huh? They always show them in weird orders. But, yeah. I get what you mean. There's more of a clear story, while Sonic Boom was more interested in the jokes in and on themselves.
Yeah, Sonic Boom.
Sonic Boom one.
Family Guy budget. Yeah.
The Sonic Boom one was even dumber because like Tails intentionally puts himself back in danger to like audition for Sonic's new sidekick. But like he then blames Sonic for that when he gets in danger.
Yeah.
And Sonic accepts the blame.
So yeah, for people wondering why I always have a grudge against Sonic Boom, yeah, it's that first fucking episode that always left a very bitter first impression.
It's...
And here's the thing, I consider that one to be probably the best, at least in season 1. Because at least there's something happening. All other Sonic Boom episodes have them lounging around.
Yeah.
At least in this one, like, Sonic is a bit more... At least in that one, Sonic is a bit more proactive.
I also remember that's the only episode that tried to be closer to the video games, as in they use more of their tools and abilities from the games. So it's clearly one of the episodes they did later.
Yeah, it's like one of the
it is a snow in the desert episode compared to the rest of Sonic Boom, and there is literally a snow in the desert.
Yeah, it's one of those rare episodes where they get to use those electric beams and whatnot from the games. And it's like, it's only in this episode and I think the 4-part Robot Saga, but yeah, they never bothered doing that. They never went all ham on that stuff to, you know, like sell the toys.
Which I'm not sure if it's a good thing or a bad thing. It's a thing. Oh well, Sonic Boom exists in
Sonic Boom will always be a bad thing.
That's right, it's a thing.
It's a thing.
It's a thing.
It's an unholy demon of a thing.
Maybe one day we'll talk about Sonic Boom and this Dissected Melting Man will have no mercy on it.
No, like if we ever get around to Sonic Boom, like the episodes, then I'll just be like, oh, you guys are covering Sonic Boom? Fuck that. And I'll just go across here.
Yeah. Like,
No,
you're
I
covering
want you
Sonic
to stick
Boom?
around because then I could laugh at you as revenge for all the times you made me cringe with these corny jokes.
You can finally have a Melting Man as an unamused picture.
Yeah. Like, then you get to be put in my shoes. You get to be...
Oh my god. I just imagine Melty like, oh, you guys are covering Sonic Boom?
Exactly.
Yeah, pretty much. Now, wake me up when you get to the comics. Yeah.
We already did Sonic Boom comics.
No, I mean the other comics.
I guess.
I don't know if chat heard me disconnect right there, but that was the joke.
Yeah. Oh, I just noticed Blaze Riona just showed up in the chat.
Oh, hey, Blaze.
Hey!
Hey, Blaze!
How's it going, Aaron?
Yeah, hope she saw that, the ending bit to my Y2P intro with Tails being all cute. I'm sure she'd appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope you're feeling better, Aaron. Been a tough year for a lot of us, especially you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to this episode, I guess.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
this one is also kind of weird.
Yeah, where do we even start?
Well,
did you know that Tails can turn himself inside out?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that course that's what inspired me to do that bit. It's like, oh, he like turns himself out, but like disappears in the process.
Yeah. Like, kind of surprised. Like he thinks turning himself inside out would be quicker than just simply turning 180 degrees around.
It's funnier in animation.
Yeah.
Even though it's like the logic, even though you realise, oh wait, it's Adventure of Sonic the Hedgehog. What the hell is logic?
But hey, I'd rather take that kind of weird animation over the Family Guy-esque budget of animation on Sonic Boom.
Yeah.
But yeah, for some reason the whole bit where like Sonic rides on Grounder, it's like, oh, like wonder what the movie's in. Like, oh, I don't have a movie. For some reason, that's just one of those lines that kept getting stuck in my head. I guess it's just that line delivery from the voice actor.
And of course, because it reminds us of Sonic Adventure 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I did intentionally reference that in the synopsis.
So we have this joke in Adventure Sonic and the Hedgehog, or in Sonic Avenger, and in Sonic Movie 3. So that's 3 different media that did this scene.
So yeah, it all comes full circle. Yeah, first there was Adventures of Sonic, then there was Sonic's Adventure 2, and then there was the fact that both Gary Chalk and the line got featured in the Sonic movie universe.
Yeah.
There you go. It's all It's symmetry, I suppose.
It's all connected.
It's all connected.
It's like poetry. It rhymes.
There you go. It's like Star Wars.
Yeah.
Jar Jar is the key to this.
Indeed. If only you showed up.
Oh my god.
Yeah. What?
I think one thing that was something interesting though is like, well, not really interesting, but just more sort of like not sure why, but for some reason the pitch of the music is a bit lower toned.
In this episode?
So, yeah.
Oh yeah, that is true.
Lower tone for some reason, so it's not as the usual pitch.
Oh, that's
yeah.
interesting.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's just some sort of very laboured homage to us Europeans who had to be stuck with the 50 hertz Sonic the Hedgehog, where the music was playing at a much slower pace.
Well, hey, maybe this was the first episode that aired over there.
Yeah.
Not really, but it is still questionable. Of that position.
Who knows? One bit of a funny visual element I noticed is that almost the entire episode seems to take place at night, or at least the background is black. But then in the scene that actually takes place at night, when Sonic and Tails are camping, that's when the sky is suddenly yellow and orange. So the only scene is actually taking place at night. It's actually a bright sky, while during the day it's constantly black sky in the background. I think that was a funny detail I noticed.
Yeah, well, I mean the sky, like the coloring of the sky in Adventures of Sonic has always been very random. It's like, oh, it's suddenly red, now it's black, now it's blue. Blue and blue sky, blasphemy. Don't be silly.
It's very artsy, yes. But yeah, here it's particularly ironic, so that amused me, I guess.
Now I'm looking at that that photo of like Sonic and Tails walking, like for some reason it just reminds me of that one walking meme, the Dr. Livsley meme, you know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that bit. I'm surprised I didn't do that in the YTV. I must have missed that, or maybe it just didn't last long.
Absolutely love Tails' facial expression when he finds that he's getting real parents. He looks like a complete psycho.
Oh, right, yeah.
My real parents!
Oh boy, my real parents. Well, pulls out the hatchet. Time to finish the job.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
It is weird that...
Sorry, I was just going to say, oh wow, I found my real parents!
There we go.
It is kind of weird that, like, this moment, like, completely swaps Sonic and Tails' like, willingness to go through with this. Because, like, Tails didn't want to find a new home, he wanted to stay with Sonic, and Sonic wanted to keep Tails safe. And now, suddenly, Tails is so excited to find his family, and Sonic is like, oh, but I want to stay with you. It's like, this is the moment he realizes that, if Tails is staying at a new home, then he doesn't get to be with Sonic anymore. And which is weird, because, like, he was so willing to leave Tails at the previous two houses.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting.
Yes, I guess what made him really happy is that the whole billboard claims that it's like his real parents, and he's like, "Oh boy, I finally get to know my origin." Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, a bit of American commentary, I guess, but it's clear that Tails' parents are supposed to be modeled after American Gothic, those two famous the farmers from the painting. Kind of wonder why that.
Yeah, that classic pose. Yeah.
So there you go, America. You represent those two evil fake foxes, I guess. Social commentary.
Oh dear.
I did like that the name was the Idylls, as couldn't possibly be a little more on the nose. Come have an idyllic life with your parents.
Oh,
Yeah.
I forgot to make a joke. At one point, Sonic said, like, "Oh, I'm gonna be your picket fence." I should have made a drawing of that.
No, that was Tails said that. Sonic says, or Sonic is like, "Sorry, we couldn't find your family," and Tails is like, "I did find my family. You're my mom, you're my dad, and you're my picket fence. And it's like, aw, that's sweet and weird.
And stupid. I love it.
It's weird. Yeah.
Swear.
It's weird.
Yeah.
I've definitely seen the "You're my mom" taken out of context.
Oh yeah.
Great.
I've seen that a couple times on YTPs. Yeah, like you're my mom, and it just stops. Yeah.
That's stupid. They should have just said, "You're my picket fence." That's funnier.
Oh my god.
Also, but I think this is also one of the few times where it actually shows how Sonic and Tails met.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't see that in most Sonic media.
Yeah, I just love how eloquent Tails was as a baby.
Yeah,
Capable of
surprisingly
full
speaks very-
speech.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a very educated baby. Yeah.
Well, then again, he is very smart, so...
Well, in like modern times, yes, but like Tails wasn't particularly smart back in the
Yeah, he wasn't really.
1993.
Yeah, he wasn't really portrayed as the kid genius in like the Genesis days. He was just the sidekick guy. Yeah.
Also, now it's confirmed his chest hair is actual chest hair, so because he doesn't have it as a baby, so that means he must be very old now.
Man.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh
dear.
yeah, it's just a plain brown on his body. Yeah.
But yeah, I love.
Meanwhile, Sonic has to like disguise himself with chest hair.
Yeah. There you go.
My favorite
And
line
yes.
also from this episode.
Yes.
Want to see me cry?
Oh yeah.
I freaking love that.
Yeah, I think I was originally gonna do a joke in the intro where it's like, "Want to see me cry?" and then use like a Homer Simpson clip of yelling "No!" and then it comes back to Tails saying "Too bad." But yeah, that joke got cut out.
You've already done the Homer Simpson no anyway, so.
Oh yeah, with the whole Robotnik on the phone. And I might do it again because that's just a really hilarious line delivery from Homer Simpson.
Yeah.
No! And I mean, that's just... that joke just gets me every time. Sonic's just basically saying, "See you later, kiddo." Tails goes after him and says, "Want to see me cry?" What? Creates a river of tears. Like, he literally cries a river.
Yeah.
I especially love it just like in the context because like Sonic, he's just like, "Oh, I can't slow down for a baby," and he just abandons this child and immediately catches up to him, like immediately disproving that he doesn't need to slow down for it. It's just out of nowhere. It says, "Want to see me cry?"
Yeah.
Yeah, it was almost like it was almost like, "Do you want to see my talent?"
Yeah. It is so funny because like it's.
And then
I feel like the writer.
Yeah.
It feels like the writers were trying to find a way to have Tails save Sonic from falling. And they're like, what if he slips? Oh, what's he gonna slip on? The tears. Okay, why is Tails crying?
No
I don't
reason.
know, man.
No, like it's a baby, you know, it's mandatory. Baby cry.
Well, also,
He's a baby. Brilliant.
well, also, it appears so far that out of all the cast members, Tails is the one who managed to hurt Sonic the most.
Yep.
Yeah.
Where he actually got him in a cast and bandages.
Yeah.
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 I mean, like speaking of that, like jokes aside about like Tails grabbing Sonic's butt with his teeth. I mean, like still, like even Tails as a baby is like freaking strong and being able to carry Sonic like that.
Yeah.
Like
Even
both
my
in his
teeth are
head and in
muscles.
that hammock. Yeah.
And I gotta say, I loved Tails' pose when he falls out of the tree on Sonic's head. That's stiff. That's something I would draw in my cartoons.
Yeah.
That's kind of stiff, like plonk.
Yeah.
I don't love Sonic's random dance, like he's like a 1920s cartoon for
Yeah,
a bit.
he
It's
just
like Felix the
random
cat.
He just stops in the middle of the road.
Yeah.
time for mandatory dance break. Do, 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 do.
It's like,
Yeah,
oh, I
it's
like
weird.
this part of the music. Punk.
Yeah, I got to have some fun with doing that bit in the intro where I synced up the speed of it to make him look like he's dancing to the Special Zone theme from Sonic Pocket Adventure.
That was a nice.
Sonic, like this first reaction when Sonic and Tails meet, like Sonic is actually pissed off at him.
Yeah.
Especially with the Donald Duck version. Yeah.
It's so funny. He doesn't even question why this baby fox fell out of the sky. He's just mad that it landed on him.
Yeah. Like, hey, I'm walking
You're
here.
a fox, and foxes don't fly. Like,
Oh yeah,
not a bird? No.
yeah. He's like, I wanted to live with them, but they kicked me out. It's like, well, you're not a bird. I'm not, but I can fly. Maybe I'm a bug. And I'm like, oh, you are precious.
Yes.
You are so
And I
smart
also
and
love,
stupid at the same time.
Sonic's reply when he says, like, I'm not a bird? No.
Yeah, Sonic is,
No.
yeah, Sonic's a bit of an asshole in this flashback. Yeah.
And the only time
he
he
was
like
a
gets
younger
sympathetic
teen at that
is
time.
like when it's Tails like, maybe I could live with you, and then Sonic goes, well, don't you have a family? It's like, no, I've been lost for a long time, and I need someone to live with. And even after hearing that, Sonic is just like, well, sorry to hear that, but I can't be tied down by a baby, so goodbye.
Sucks to be you.
Yeah.
Like, oh, he's gonna be sympathetic for like, to him
Nope.
from now on, but no, he still decides to up and leave him, and Tails is the one who follows him.
It needed a
Well, you
broken
know, like-
arm.
You know,
Well, you know,
He
it was
gives him
actually-
a broken arm, gives him an eye patch, and then he's got a bandage on his forehead. And my other line I love from Tails is when he actually tells Sonic his real name. It's Miles. Miles? Yeah, I hate it.
I hate it.
I love that
Yeah.
delivery. I hate it.
Well, yeah, I guess Sonic.
Says,
Like, yes,
"I hate
Sonic
it."
Yeah, but I guess Sonic acted like an asshole there. It's just more that, that era of Sonic where he's like, no, I'm way too cool to do all this babysitting stuff, yeah. Got all my shades and 90s stuff, yeah.
And yet somehow
will say,
Tails
though-
still managed to hurt him more than Robotnik
Yeah.
ever could.
Yeah. I will say, I do appreciate that, like, even though, like, Sonic is being an asshole to get to this moment, having, like, Tails prove that he can keep up with Sonic is, like, accurate to the actual lore, so that is appreciated. And it's also wholesome, and it just led to the funniest line ever spoken, wanna see me cry?
Wanna see me cry?
In fact, now that I think about it, I think this is the only episode in the entire series reveal that his real name is Miles.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I think
That's
so as well,
surprised.
yeah.
But no Prower, they
No,
never mentioned
Sonic
Prower.
X. Sonic X. He reveals his name is Miles.
No, I'm
he
talking
everyone
about
calls
this
him
show
Tails.
specifically.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I think he mentions
Yeah.
it later on down the road in another episode, just don't know when.
I just mostly remember in this episode, especially with, like, later on, Tails was like, no, I want to help you, Sonic. You get out of here or I'll tell everyone your real name is Miles. No, not that!
The worst nightmare. Yeah, this is the only time that he's actually embarrassed by his name. Anyway, hi CJ Destroyer in the comments. He made a cool fan art of me and a lot of the Sonic fan artists. That was pretty
Yeah.
awesome.
That's really cool.
Yep.
Like, freaking nailed everyone's designs.
Yeah.
You, Wax, Dubus, Pringus, Terminal Montage. I can't see the name of who's bottom left, but it looks familiar.
Comic.
Yeah, freaking
My head's blocking it. You might want to move it.
Yeah, it looks like something from, like, episode 2
Ah.
of Sonic Paradox or whatever.
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
Fleet
I
Racing
don't
was about to
recognize,
destroy everyone, but then he just
Don't
gets
recognize.
bonked on the back of the head by Scourge before he then basically destroys Scourge.
Comic. Yeah, that's the one
Yeah.
for on the far left, lower
Yeah.
lower far left.
I don't recognize whoever CJ and Freggy are, though.
CJ's, I think,
recognize
the
them.
artist himself, but the Freggy, I'm not
Oh,
sure if
you know what? Fair enough. that explains why he signed it instead of just writing the name. So yeah, that means I only don't recognize Freggy.
Poor Freggy.
But from the six I do recognize, absolutely nailed the designs. Good job.
Yeah, fan art or
Yeah.
fan art. You wanna-
Yep. Round of applause for him.
Yeah.
He
anyway.
also gets He also gets 1 Jason Griffith Yahoo.
Yahoo!
No, the ultimate prize.
So yeah, back to this episode.
Yeah.
I like the
Yeah,
I like the
Oh,
bit
go
at the end where Robotnik was flattened and Scratch and Grounder was wondering whether to save him, and Scratch says, "Oh, we'll come back Tuesday."
Yeah. We'll come back Tuesday. Yeah. Yeah.
Before we move on from the scene with Tails, though, I love how actually the flashback also served as a way to give Sonic a clue that something wasn't right.
Yeah.
Because he said he was the one who gave Tails his name.
Yeah.
So he's like, wait a minute, if they were really his parents, they would have called him Miles.
Yeah.
A bit of a clever moment, yeah.
Yeah.
Although kind of cruel to name him after a handicap.
Yeah.
I think, though, it's actually because his name is Miles Prower.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
So
miles per
I think
hour.
it's a pun on miles per hour.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also, I think Miles is actually a real name.
It
is, yeah.
Yeah,
it is,
like
Yeah, Miles is a real name.
Like Miles O'Brien.
I am Miles O'Brien.
So
Yeah, and funny enough, they actually did do the Miles name for like an alternate version of Tails from in Archie Sonic. In Scourge's Dimension, they have the evil Tails called Miles.
Not kilometers per hour?
No, no, there's no last name for that version. It's just Miles.
Oh, close enough still.
Yeah, with the red jacket and the black
yeah,
hair.
and since I didn't really talk to you guys with Sonic X, I just want to talk about real quick with character designs in regards to that. I do like how later, when they gave characters eye color, they gave Tails blue eyes. Just because it adds an innocence to him, I really love that.
Yeah. It has a purity to it, indeed.
Yeah, because he's very smart, but he's also like very kind and and also the shade of blue that they chose. I also really liked.
Yeah, the very bright.
Yeah, the light blue, because like in the
sky blue. Yeah. Yeah, also connects to his ability to fly and pilot planes, because he's kind of always in the sky. So he has sky blue eyes.
They put thought into it, yeah. Alrighty. That's indeed a clever choice.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do like... Yeah.
Also, if you combine 2 ant robots, you get a tin of applesauce.
That's
Yeah.
very random.
Yeah.
Very random. I mean, this is the same show where Grounder blows into one hand and then a pumpkin comes out the other.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
Speaking of, the scene where Robotnik gets slammed into the wall, and then as he's getting up, and then he pulls a frickin' brick out of his eye.
Oh, that looks nasty.
Like, how the hell does that work? It's like, that's really painful. It's shoved in there. Like, ow!
I have to be honest, when I initially watched it, I thought, why is he pulling a sponge out of his eye, before I realised, oh wait, it's a brick.
Yeah. And especially since you see the eye, like, throbbing a bit before he pulls it out. Like, damn, that must really hurt.
Why is it out of his eye? How does that even work?
It's very nasty.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now we're gonna go on a 20-minute tangent about how the hell do Robotnik's eyes work.
Very rubbery, slapsticky. Let's just keep it at that.
Well, like,
It's like, I mean, seriously, no, just look at it. This atomically makes no sense.
Nope.
It's there's layers to how little sense this makes, because, like, first off, you'd think, like, the joke is like, oh, it's debris from Tails crashing through the wall, but Robotnik was in front of the wall, not behind it, and also that wall is made of wood!
So he should be pulling out wood instead of brick, yeah.
Yeah, that would be worse, honestly.
Oh yeah, a permanent splinter in his eye, ouch!
Yeah.
Nasty.
Random brick.
No.
I
Yeah, random brick. But hey, on a more lighter note, this episode did give us one of the greatest Robotnik memes.
Promotion.
Oh, promotion.
Yeah, I have to give myself a promotion.
I'm sorry. I oh my gosh, I've got to do this because I just came up with a Christian joke for this.
All right,
There's
go
a
ahead.
Bible verse that says, "Why look at the speck in your brother's eye when you got a log in your own?"
Yeah, so oh yeah, I just remember this is this like aside from the whole I don't have a movie. This has like another Grounder quote that I find hilarious for some reason, and that's like after they get flattened by the ceiling smasher, and Grounder actually decides to respond to the fake letter. It's like, "Dear Lulu, thanks for the letter. Why don't you take a long walk off a short pier? Fondly yours, Grounder."
I like the detail of the spring coming at the camera as if it's like a middle finger on top of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like an extra insult on top of it.
Oh my god. And also like the magnetic sneaker grabber hedgehog trapper rug thing. Sonic like just ties a sneaker to Robotnik's torso and it drags him onto it and then flattens him for no reason.
Yeah, like you think it would affect all sneakers, but no, it's just that one sneaker.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't even seem to affect Sonic.
Yeah.
But like, why does it affect Robotnik's whole body though?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I do like those two screenshots though, the one of where Sonic's like, "Ooh, a shoe," and Robotnik is just like so cheerful that he's being thrown towards the death pit.
Oh yeah, that's like another famous meme from this episode is when like Robotnik's like jumping up and down, going all.
Oh yeah.
He was quite a lot of yeah.
It's a classic episode, alright? Hey, go ahead.
There's also just like the random like when Robotnik tells Grounder to test out the ceiling smasher, and Grounder just goes ooh-dee-doo.
Yeah, that was
No
weird.
reason.
Yeah, it's just random gibberish.
He's like pointing at nothing and.
Yeah, it's like he was supposed to say like, "Yes, Dr. Robotnik," but then he forgot the line.
Or maybe they just recorded like Gary Chalk just making some random grounder noise like "Doo, doo," and they just throw that in.
Yeah, or maybe the animator just got lazy. It's like, fuck the original dialogue. I'll just recycle some random gibberish from leftover tracks.
They had a lot of fun, that's for sure. I have to say, I can't. Yeah, go ahead.
The bit where Sonic just sits alone, acting all depressed, immediately make me think of the CG chair meme.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's another screenshot I've seen used a lot in YTPs. Like one I can think of is one where Robotnik's like, "Sonic will never be able to penetrate my ass," and then it just shows a depressed Sonic with sad music.
I remember one where Sonic is all coloured yellow and you hear a woman singing Supersonic. I just can't remember which one it was.
Neither do I.
Okay.
Same. But then again, you usually have a look at some of the more obscure stuff.
One detail I kind of found funny with the goldfish with the clumsy parents is that you see the fish like banging Sonic, like, "Oh, get me out of here!" Sonic just shrugs, like, "Sorry, dude."
Sorry, dude, I don't speak fish.
Yeah, and like the weird thing is like they take the bowl, like they take the fish bowl away, and then it's suddenly on the guy's head. Like what? Just dumping on him or something?
Yeah.
That was kind of confusing, yeah.
Yeah, and then at the end the goldfish is like, "That's it, I'm out of here."
Poor fish.
I do like the family friendly bit of they don't kill their goldfish, they cause them to move away.
Yeah, especially after filling out his last will and testament. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right before they explode their house.
Yep.
Good stuff. And then we haven't talked about Sonic opening the mail. Oh, very illegal of him.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that isn't. I mean, it's technically not a felony because it is technically his mail, but he was disguised as Sylvia at the time, so you know it's a very big no-no.
Yeah, but I mean, still, like, he did open that one letter that Robotnik was gonna send out, so I mean, yeah, he's still convicted of felony, even if he wanted to be a not see about it.
No. The letter was for him. So, like, it's
Oh, yeah.
technically not illegal for him to open his own mail.
Unfortunately.
I don't know why I would say technically there. It's just not illegal to open your own mail. Keep that in mind,
Yeah,
everyone.
because
That's useful.
Yeah, and at least it gave us, yeah, that's another thing I've seen a lot of Y2Ps for the whole, you spelled kidnap with a C. And there's, like, different versions. Like, the one I can remember was that someone scrubbed out the kidnap and replaced it with, like, Sonic sucks. So he's like, you spelled kidnap with a... Hey, what's the big idea? And it's just robotic smiling. Yeah, that was from an old YouTube poof, yeah.
Also, since when do mailmen in America wear a safari hat?
That is a weird stereotype. I don't know. I've never seen that, but, like, it happens a lot in media.
Yeah, I guess that was just a common fashion choice from like the '90s and older cartoons.
Yeah, I'm guessing it has to be based on something, but I've never seen that.
Yeah, I think that might have been like when mailmen were like more active and having to like actually walk around. You know, like not today where they're always driving around in UPS trucks or sending out drones to deliver packages or whatever.
Sylvia walks around. I walk around. But that's in the Netherlands, where you bike and walk more.
Well, I guess in the Netherlands it's still common there. While we Americans, we gotten lazy and just drive around in trucks.
I guess so.
We're being technologically advanced.
I guess it has more to do with how your cities are constructed. But yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think how our cities are constructed is different than how those in Europe are.
Yeah.
We don't got any of them fancy walkable cities.
No, we don't.
Nope. Too big and full of traffic. Yeah.
The best you could probably do is use a bike if you don't have a car.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Sorry, it's just the fact, like, you stuttered a bit there. It's just like, it's best to use a butt. Like,
Those are useful too, yeah.
Yeah, it's used for a butt. Yeah, it's used for a butt, like sitting on the bicycle seat.
We're back to Elise is not amused. Thanks, Euan.
well, you kind of walked into that.
Right into
It was unintentional, but still.
Walked right into her own trap. Yeah.
I am so sorry.
Discord kind of screwed you over right there.
Yeah.
Like, what if we cut her off halfway through the word bike?
Oh my gosh.
Elise is not amused by herself.
Back on topic, I am very concerned about Robotnik licking his lips at Tails all tied up.
Yes.
Yeah.
What the hell was that
no.
about?
Yeah.
Oh
mean, obviously
boy, I'm
he's-
going to have fox stew today.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's just excited about the fact that this gives him leverage over Sonic, but it's not a good look.
No.
Wow, deliciously evil.
Yeah. I'm sure that was what they were trying to go for, but
Yeah.
Good stuff.
All right.
Well, we can't go on forever this episode. Want to move on, or is there something left?
Yeah, let's. We have to.
Yeah. These episodes.
Yeah.
It's just these two episodes had a lot of stuff to talk about.
Definitely had, yes.
And it all revolves around the minor things. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
like,
mental.
Yeah, it's like first episode of Sonic Underground we did, where we just spent almost an hour on that one.
Yeah.
Some episodes are just packed, yeah. We didn't even talk about the Doberman War guy or the depressed son.
Yeah.
Well, I
Especially
do know
since he
that
returns later on.
Yeah, the sergeant guy does show up in a late.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
These episodes were so mental.
They were.
Yeah.
Oh, there's one animation that we didn't talk about. It's when Sonic is depressed that now that he's left Tails with his quote-unquote family, that he literally becomes a blob.
Oh,
slides
yeah.
down the rock before reforming again.
He melts. So the sun has melted him.
He's a T-1000.
There you go.
Oh, Aaron said there's lore in this episode. I guess that's why. We're explaining why we went on.
Yeah.
As
That's
long
true.
as
Oh
we
yeah.
did.
Yeah.
Because yeah, with Tails' backstory and everything.
Yeah.
Always
But then
good to
also, like, one thing I learned when we did our Sonic Innovation video with Sonic Adventure 2 and Sonic Next Gen is that those games have a lot of lore in them and there's a lot to unpack.
Yep.
So
those are the best kinds.
I love it. As someone who's kind of a lore geek, and who's kind of a lore master when it comes to my own stuff, I really enjoy that because I love world building and I love seeing like, oh, this story can tie into this one and here's how, kind of thing.
That is the fun stuff, even when it's as deranged as in this show.
Yeah.
But right, let's move on to Sonic X, I suppose.
Yeah, the Sonic X comics, where I'm doing all the synopsis because apparently nobody else wanted to do it.
Oh, I can do this.
Roger said he would do. Yeah, Roger said he'd do this one.
I can do this one.
Oh,
sure.
He was? Like, when did that happen? I thought no one played it.
Before
I
you
said,
joined the
guess
call.
I'll do it. Yeah.
Well,
Before you joined the call.
Oh, it's just last minute stuff. Yeah, okay. Because honestly, I'm surprised that Sala didn't claim this one because there is kind of a bit to say about this particular character.
Yeah,
but that's for later.
I would have if I prepared last night instead of this morning.
well, not to worry. I'm prepared with the trivia bits for it, so I'll help you out with that.
Oh boy. But yeah, Emerald Metal Sonic episode this time. How exciting. In Sonic Studiopolis Act 2. Alright, so in this exciting episode of Sonic X, the people actually asked Sonic to appear on television, and shockingly Sonic agreed to do it, even though in the TV show he was never interested in any of this fame stuff. Anyway, Sonic is a bit of an egomaniac. He's all super excited to be there and wants to take everyone's attention. That's why Chris is kind of depressed. Sadly, right at this moment, Robotnik has his own robots in place as the camera people, apparently, because he wants some information about the heroes. So we're getting a bit of a Sonic Heroes plot here. All the main characters get to show off their abilities on the TV show. To set up like a whole cool...
Obstacle course.
Obstacle. Thank you, Euan. Yes, an obstacle course to show off their skills. Chris is shockingly smart for once and actually notices that something is wrong with the camera crew, but nobody's paying attention to him, as they should. So yeah, Sonic and friends are all showing off their cool video game skills, going through the obstacle course, while Robotnik is getting all that information and installing it into his latest invention, which is like a mix-up between Metal Sonic and Emerald, apparently. So like we finally get our Sonic X version of Metal Sonic, I suppose, kind of white-looking, but he has all the abilities of the four main characters, and he can switch between them. So a fight breaks out, and the Metal Sonic... Does he have a name? I don't even remember.
I think it's just called the X-Robot.
Yeah, that's the official name. It's not named in the comic, but the creator of the character officially stated that its name is like X-Robot or just Robot X.
Oh, that's kind of boring. I like Robot X, though. Robot X!
Well, it was originally going to be Spectre, so, Ghostly Spectre with the themings, but they felt like it just didn't work.
Alright, fair enough. I'll just call him Robot X. So Robot X can predict the moveset of Sonic and friends, so he keeps switching back and forth between their movements and defeating them. But then... yeah, what happened then? Then Sonic finally has to learn how to work together with his friends, because he has been an egomaniac this whole episode, because apparently in this episode he's super in love with getting all the attention on TV. So he's decided to finally work together with his friends, so everyone using their specific skills to keep Robot X in place, while Sonic jumps into the sky and crashes out like a cannonball on top of his head, destroying them for good. Robotnik is sad, and Boku is had too much food and has a stomachache. The end. There you go.
Yeah. How ironic how Roger complained about old video I did where I skipped half the plot, and he does the same thing here. Though, to be fair, like, most of it is just fights. I don't recall him bringing up the point of, like, oh yeah, the robot is copying Sonic's friend's abilities.
Oh, I don't mind you skipping half the story. You skipped the funny part. That was the offensive part. Yeah. Funny things should never be skipped. So, did I skip any funny parts? Tell me about it.
Yes, you did.
Ah!
Because I love that one of the things Robot X copies is Amy's crush on Sonic.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, hey, if Lucky could have the hot for Sonic, then why not Robot X?
I can imagine the robot going, I must impress Sonic with my skills so he could,
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Have fun sex with me.
Don't even go there.
No, Melty, don't finish
that. It's Roger's own fault for creating that joke.
Filthy little devil.
It's Roger's
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Well, back to Elise not being amused.
Yeah.
But it is such like a silly moment that it's just like it doesn't even go anywhere. It's just like as soon as it goes into Amy mode, it's just like, oh, there's Sonic. How cute! I love him. And then Sonic just punches it in the face, and it's like, oh. It's sad.
He's like, oh, marry me, Sonic. Psh, oh.
Broken heart. That's kind of sad, yeah.
Oh, dear.
And then Sonic kills it.
It's so funny. I can't believe you didn't mention that, Roger.
I'm very ashamed of
Okay,
myself. I'm sorry.
The turntables.
I'm very sorry. I failed.
Okay, so yeah, there's this. Okay, I think there's one thing I think of. I don't think Roger also brought. It's so like the whole running gag is that Bo-kun is like really. What the hell is with this episode? It's like first the whole Tails mukbanging thing and the wiener thing, and now it's Bo-kun's turn. But yeah, so like Bo-kun's like addicted to like so much food going on with like sweets and popcorn, and then there's this random bit where he's like paying a pizza boy that's like delivering him pizza.
He looks so satisfied.
So,
Yeah, like his expressions.
Yeah. Very American looking outfit he has with all the red, white, and blues.
Yeah, pizza guy's like, I'm not getting paid enough for this.
Yeah.
Better be at least a 20% tip on this.
I was just thinking though, because this robot is a lot like Emerald or the what are they called? The robots that
Gizoids?
Emerald.
Gizoids.
Gizoids, yes. Is that they can copy characters' movements and attacks, but I was thinking like, what about characters like Shadow and Silver who have like kinetic abilities? Like,
well,
would he be able?
Emerald,
Would they be able to copy those or not? Or would they only be able to copy their like physical actions, but not their buffs, as it were?
Yeah, Emerald can and has copied Shadow, so he knows like chaos control and stuff.
We don't know
Wait,
about Silver.
What about Silver though? What about Silver? Silver's in a league of his own.
Emerald died before they met Silver, so we'll never know.
Yeah, I'm sure it could happen, but yeah, we'll never get that crossover.
Yeah, well, also then there's Blaze, you know, where she has firepower. Like, I don't know if they'd be able to copy Blaze's firepower. So
good question.
I feel like those two.
Let me answer that by pointing out. Let me answer that by pointing out that Emerald can copy turning liquidy by copying Chaos, and can copy summoning Chow by copying Cream. I think he can make fire.
Yeah, so in case of like, oh, can this character, the answer will always be yes.
Yeah, that's just how like busted Emerald is, and he's a really cool character. I miss him. At least Gemerald is like supposed to be Emerald's memories, but we don't know if he probably doesn't have Emerald's abilities though.
Yeah.
It was never utilized. No, sadly.
Yeah. But
well,
yeah.
Also then, it's like I know I'm a Silver fangirl, so please bear with me. But it's like Silver can deactivate robots with his psychokinesis. So is it just a matter of who gets the upper hand first, or is that he can't copy Silver's ability at all?
That's a good question.
Well, I mean, in Sonic Rivals, Metal Sonic can copy Silver's psychokinesis, so I don't see why Emerald couldn't. Yeah.
Oh.
And by that I mean like Metal Sonic's special ability in the game is that he uses his opponent's special ability. And so in the case of Silver, he just reverses his opponent's controls.
Oh.
So
okay. I did not know that. I mean, I do know Sonic Rivals. Like, I do know the storyline for those games. It's just when it comes to the gameplay, I'm a little bit. It's like I don't know that much. So
yeah. That one's not one of the more well-known games in terms of gameplay. Not a lot of people owned a PSP.
Well, doesn't also in that one Metal Sonic also has a Chaos Emerald?
Yeah, he has a random Chaos Emerald shoved into his chest, and that's how like Shadow and him got out of that dimension where the
entire time.
Yeah.
But yeah, so speaking of Emerald, let's talk about the not Emerald in this comic.
Robot X.
Yes.
Yes.
Robot
Yeah,
X.
Robot X. Yeah, I can definitely see
actually
why
pretty
this.
cool looking.
Yeah, it's neat looking, but I can definitely see why he's not really a fan favorite. Outside of the fact that nobody reads the Sonic comics, and the fact that it's like, yeah, he really is just a knockoff version of Emerald. Though there are a few interesting things about this guy. Like, I'm posting them right now. So, like, one, there's some early concept art of the robot where he definitely has a more Gizoid look to the character. And apparently, the other thing I'm putting in right now is that apparently there were plans to utilize this character and, like, have him cross over into, like, the Archie Sonic universe, but apparently that never went anywhere. So, poor Robot X just became a one-and-done character.
Bummer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With his only other appearance just being bits in a test tube.
Oh yeah, that's like the last issue where he has a cameo.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do like how his design incorporates designs from other characters. Like, he's got Knuckles' dreads, he's got Sonic's shoes, he's got a pair of tails. Nothing specifically for Amy until like he gets out his hammer. But
oh yeah. Well, I mean, you could say like the red could represent Amy with her dress and all.
I suppose. I think the red more represents Eggman, but...
Oh, yeah. Well, then again, like, knowing Eggman, he would just, like, plaster his own logo on. Just 2 colors.
Yeah. It's a cool look. It's a cool-looking robot. Yeah. And you know, yeah. he does neat things. And then he gets destroyed.
Yeah. Definitely remember when I tried to first draw this character many years ago, and yet it was such a pain in the butt to draw just because of how different it was to draw it, so I just never ever got round to finishing the picture in question.
Oh.
So, but yeah, I finally got to draw that character again for the thumbnail, although you could barely even make it out. Because it's literally tiny.
Poor Euan having trouble drawing robots.
Because your computer didn't cooperate. Oh well, at least you drew a wonderful Dr. Slump.
Yeah.
Professor Von Schlemmer.
Yeah, Von Schlemmer.
I do like the panel where as Scarlet Garcia is listing off Sonic's friend's abilities, and it comes to Amy and like, oh, she's enjoys smashing things, like she's the Incredible Hulk, and you got like a very unimpressed Tails there.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of Sonic, like, being surprised about Sonic taking part in the TV interview thing, I'm more surprised that they convinced Knuckles to join in, because when they open up, he clearly doesn't want to be there. He's like, oh, I should be guarding the Master Emerald.
Pretty much, yeah.
I just love it the first panel that Chuck is all for it. He's just sitting there like, hello there.
Oh, yes, very good.
Probably has a crush on Garcia.
Yeah.
It's like, I have a PhD.
Yeah, and of course the nice thing about the comic is that, well, this is something I just found out before the stream started. Like, this issue is actually the first time that Tracy Yardley, good old Tracy Yardley, is both doing the writing and the artwork. So, hence why the characters are a lot more in model in this comic.
Ah.
So yeah, good old Tracy Yardley.
Classic.
Good on him. I've always loved his art.
Yeah, always good.
Always looks good.
I think this is also the only Sonic X issue where he actually does the front cover as opposed to the usual regular artist.
Oh yeah, I heard. Yeah, because his signature's right there.
So this is really Tracy's comic book completely, and writing and cover and art.
Yeah, his big debut in the Sonic X comics.
Well, he showed up before, right? Drawing, but just not all the other things.
He did.
Because I'm pretty sure I saw his name before. Yeah. Alright. But yeah, this is the
now gets to write something.
It's the first time writing a story, yeah.
Alrighty, cool.
But yeah, a quick look, it's like, he was been around on Archie Sonic, the main series. I think it started, issue 168, so yeah, he's been around.
Yeah, an old veteran already, jeez.
Yeah, one of the best.
Indeed.
I like this. I like this obstacle course that Sonic goes through where you see the loop-de-loop. You see all these like classic game elements, like you see springs into a loop-de-loop, into a grind rail, and he even has to spin dash through a wall.
Yeah, and there's a wrecking ball there, yeah.
Nice details, yeah. Of course, to be expected from Tracy. I love the fact that Amy gets it beat up like a stupid-looking Robotnik. That's a nice detail.
Yeah.
It's almost a classic Robotnik.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I guess there's a reference to the whack-a-mole game in Sonic Adventure.
Yeah.
Yeah, except you're supposed to hit Robotnik instead of Sonic this time.
Yeah.
Which is kind of funny because like Robotnik designed both of these games, so like, why did he change the rules? I mean, obviously, like, okay, I understand why. Because in Sonic Adventure, he built the whack-a-mole machine for himself, so obviously you whack Sonic. But in this, he's making it for Amy, so he's like, they'll hit me. So as much as I hate it.
I guess it's kind of funny, like him like viewing the recorded footage that Deco and Boko are downloading, and then he sees like Amy in action with the whack-a-mole, and he's like, on second thought, that wasn't my best design choice.
No, he just says the hammer.
Bokun, remind me never to go around her.
He calls her a ham. That's not very nice to say to a lady.
Yeah, ham. Well, you know, I mean, Eggman's kind of a feminist, or what?
I guess so.
Just the other thing. I keep getting the things mixed up. I was thinking of that Sonic
Misogynist?
Yeah, misogynist.
Womanizer, wasn't it?
Oh yeah,
that's also yeah.
Yeah.
That got
one
mistranslated.
Yeah,
it got mistranslated as feminist.
Yeah.
And I love that a lot of people just kind of like accept that as well.
Well, they're both equally out of character. I don't see him behave either as a feminist or as a womanizer ever. But yeah, whatever. Yeah.
I think it's meant to indicate that he's a ladies' man.
That's sure.
There's no interest in women. What are these strange creatures?
Oh no, who knows what he's doing in his spare time? Who's he inviting to his swimming pool on the egg carrier?
Yeah. His own personal swimming pool.
Then again, I don't doubt he has much free time considering how many robot armies he has to build all the time.
Well, maybe he's making the robots build the robots.
Oh, fair enough.
That's fair. We kind of see in Sonic Unleashed that he kind of just like designs robots on a computer, and like those are probably manufactured by machines. So
machines making machines,
machines making machines.
Yeah,
you don't need to build two machines if you can build a machine that makes the second one.
And now we can use AI.
A bit of a reference to episode 2 when C-3PO sees the droid factory.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Oh. Nice.
A lot of Star Wars references today. We're in a Star Wars mode, eh?
Well, I mean, it makes a nice change of pace from all constant comments about like the mukbangs and the questionable details here and there.
It's at least a little nicer, yeah.
Yeah.
And the rest of us leaving Elise unamused.
It's more Elise friendly, yeah. Right, anything more about Robot X, or shall we move on to our final story of today?
I wish there was more to talk about with him because he's so cool.
Yeah, it's kind of a shame. I do think that Robot X does this.
What does he, Belty?
No, the Robot X deserves more love.
Indeed, love from Sonic.
Yeah, like I feel like he could be like
love from Sonic. I should.
Yeah, like I mean, I could have imagined Robot X being like a recurring baddie. That could be something for the comics, but alas, it didn't last long enough to give him another spotlight moment.
I do unironically love that he copies Amy's crush on Sonic. That's hilarious. It kind of makes him a little sympathetic, actually.
Yes.
He gets his heart broken by Sonic. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Robot X just wants some love.
Yeah.
Sonic, my beloved.
I love
yeah,
the
battle for the
expression.
centuries of Sonic's love. Lucky versus Robot X. Who will win?
I love the expression of the panel where Boken is eating some kind of candy called Goo Goo Bees. And at first, I thought he was eating actual bees.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
Bees.
Yeah, stingy.
That was full of bees.
I mean, I want some Goo Goo Bees now. They look delicious.
Yeah, they're
which
probably
picture is it?
honey flavored.
What is that?
It's the one with it's the same panel where like Amy whacks all the Robotnik heads, and Robotnik's like, I don't like Amy.
He goes,
oh, yeah, I see it. Yeah, Goo Goo Bees.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Goo Goo Bees.
Popcorn.
And, I thought that was a seed there. Yeah, cuckoo bees.
Okay.
Oh, God for us. In the comments, I want to know what love is.
I want you to show me. What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. No more.
Yep, that's Robot X's crush on Sonic in a nutshell. Baby, don't hurt me.
But he did. He was hurt. How sad.
I've also just noticed something, like in the very last panel where Robotnik looks very annoyed. If you look very closely at his eyes, it almost looks like they've got pupils.
Oh.
Oh yeah, kind of.
Oh, kind of.
It almost, yeah. It's just the weird glare.
Yeah.
It is weird that they drew it like that, though. But yeah, it's just the glare on his glasses.
Gives an extra effect, I suppose.
I suppose Tracy just wanted to try and give the illusion of like that sort of grumpiness to his eyes.
Yeah.
While still wearing his spectacles.
It's a nice touch.
I do like how in Archie, in some versions of Robotnik, you don't see the connecting bit between his glasses, so it looks like he actually has like robot eyes.
Oh yeah, like in terms of modern Robotnik, yeah, the artwork was always very inconsistent. Like early modern Sonic, whenever they would design Robotnik's eyes and whatnot, it did eventually become more consistent. And then we later find out that modern Robotnik, at least in Archie Sonic, has the same kind of eyes like the original Robotnik, with the blacks and the red pupils. Yeah, I thought that was a nice touch.
Which is interesting. I wonder. I do wonder if we'll ever see Eggman's eyes in the games again, because the only time we've ever seen his eyes in the games is Sonic 06, where he has just normal blue eyes.
Oh yeah, well, I guess Sonic Generations technically in some way if you messed around with the models.
Yeah, it was Sonic Forces too, I think, but yeah, that's just animation error.
I don't recall Sonic Forces, but yeah, with Generations, there's like if you mess around with classic Eggman's eyes, or at least remove the spectacles, then you see like, oh, he has like little beady eyes, which look really creepy. But yeah, sorry, Elise, go ahead.
I said I noticed something with some Japanese media is that they seem to give protagonists or like European characters all blue eyes.
Yeah, I guess so.
Like when you look at Kingdom Hearts, pretty much all the characters, like save for maybe a few, they have blue eyes. And heck, even in Next Gen, Elise has blue eyes. So,
innocence.
I guess I just really love the color blue.
I guess blue eyes is like a sign of purity or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's
or
good.
everyone
That's a coincidence because I actually have blue eyes in life.
And Robotnik is the purest of all. And Melting Man, of course.
I've got blue eyes.
Oh.
Well, I've got blue eyes, so yeah.
There you go. Cool. I have brown eyes. I'm evil. I'm impure.
No, you're just like in the middle. If you had green eyes, then you'd be
like Sonic.
Well, Riku has green eyes. Axel has green eyes, and then
yeah, lots of other characters.
Yeah, I think of course Xemnas and Xehanort, they have yellow, and I want to say that Ericus has like hazel. I'm trying to remember.
I'll look them up.
Yeah.
I got a couple on screen already.
I just mostly remember like the huntsman from Disney Snow White having green eyes.
Huh. Ericus is gray,
But
bluish.
Snow White had brown eyes.
Yeah, Snow White herself had brown eyes. Huntsman had green eyes. And, yeah, I think the Evil Queen also had brown eyes. Oh, yeah, and then Dobie had blue eyes, yeah, because he's so pure.
Ah. Alrighty. But yeah, Ericus, I can't really tell. Kind of gray, bluish. Maybe hazel, yeah. Shall we move on to the last comic?
Yeah, let's move on to the next one.
Yeah.
Sorry, Robotnik eyes. Alright, with the colored Sonic, recolored Sonic. Insert fan or fan character or joke here. Melty, you were gonna do this one?
Yeah, this is the one I claimed ahead of time, so yeah. Sonic X issue 25, the first and only milestone in the series. So we start off with Scarlet Garcia reporting a story about Station Square being attacked by the most evil and heinous thing you can think of, Sonic Recolors! Being thwarted by the evil forces of Raspberry Red Sonic, Lemony Yellow Sonic, Purpley Grape Sonic, and Sour Green Apple Sonic. Oh yeah, and Hedgehog is there for some reason.
And he forgot his pants.
Yeah, he forgot his pants, yeah. Maybe he was drunk that day.
I guess so.
But yeah, so, and then it cuts back to the Thorndike Mansion, where we see Sonic, Cream, and a very whitewashed Ella for some reason. Looking over the news like, oh no, it's like, oh, these friends of yours, Sonic? And it's like, oh, nah, so I'll take care of these guys. And then it's like, oh, shouldn't we call your friends? Like, nah, this is kind of personal to me. So, meanwhile, in Prison Island, we find out that the clones are being created by the evil Sonic X community or whatever. You know, the Sonic fan base, obviously. So, the general guy is yelling at the scientists because apparently the clones aren't doing what they wanted. They wanted to frame Sonic and want people to, you know, dislike Sonic, but apparently the rest of the world already know they are fake hedgehogs. They're trying to root for Sonic to fight him. And then the scientist guy complains about how, you know, they're not complete artificial, like, fully stable clones. So, you know, he's always struggling with the colors and the designs and make them loyal and whatnot. So, yeah, he's still trying to work on it. But then their big boss, you know, the head of the Sonic fan base, probably Aaron Weber, no, that twat.
Oh,
anyway, he's heading the Sun. He's telling the rest of the Sonic fan base, like, look, Sonic's been informed. And then they're like, you know, maybe these clones can actually defeat this asshole. So Sonic's waiting. It's like, all right, here come the Hedgehog and the Fruity Bunch as they go and trying to attack Sonic. And they do a bit, and then they run down a building and jump off to form a rainbow, which looks more like they're trying to advertise Skittles. Yeah, speed by the rainbow, taste the rainbow. So we get a lot of fighting. Sonic tries to help a civilian, but then the clones drag him away. And so Sonic realizes, like, yeah, these clones, despite being mute, they're pretty aggressive and don't care who gets hurt. But then here comes the cavalry with Knuckles and the gang helping out to fight off the clones. So, yeah, they feel they're kind of like evenly matched. It's like, how are we going to get rid of these clones? And Sonic's like, oh, I have an idea. So they run off to Robotnik's lair that somehow is still intact despite being blown up in the show. Anyway, so Robotnik is sleeping, and then Deco and Boko try to wake him up. It's like, oh, there's a bunch of Sonic clones out there. And Robotnik apparently wakes up, and he believes that he's in a nightmare. So it's like, oh, I'll get you, Hedgehog. Yeah, you can't destroy me in my dream. So, yeah, he pretty much sends out everything but the kitchen sink after these clones. And manages to kill them off, except for Sonic, which is basically what Sonic wanted. And so it's like, okay, now, what's the deal with these clones? So he finds one of the discarded shoes, and it's like, oh, right, it's that weird Sonic fan base group from last time. So, yeah, then Robotnik goes back to bed, because like, oh, now I can go back to bed. You know, should really cut out with these weird dreams. So, yeah, then we get a bit where the scientist guy is complaining. It's like, oh, I'm still working on the clones when Sonic confronts him. And then, yeah, so he decides to lend out, or unleash, his newest clone, which just so happens to be Classic Sonic. Oh, boy, so unique and never done 100 fucking times before.
Sonic Generations!
Yeah, generations before generations. Yeah, so anyway, the Sonic and the Classic Sonic are like, fighting and causing quite a lot of damage and pretty much destroy the cloning device. But then the rest of the Sonic fan base show up, and it's like, oh, there's Sonic, let's kill him! So they shoot him with a bunch of laser guns, which I guess they got that from Gunn. And so like, we killed him, haha. But it turns out, oh, it's just the clone. The real Sonic's still alive, haha. And then Scarlet Garcia's like, and so the day is saved thanks to Sonic the Hedgehog for destroying all the evil forces of the Recolors. And H-Hog. So, and then, and then the comic ends with giving us a tease of the next issue by giving us a little glimpse of introducing the greatest Sonic X character ever created, El Gran Gordo. But that's for next time.
So is this whole episode about meta commentary about the Sonic fan base with the recolors and killing classic Sonic?
Well, I mean, makes sense, because like the whole Sonic X group is basically the Sonic fan base itself.
Well, we're all angry at Sonic. I want him dead. Yep.
Yeah, like, oh man, like, yeah, this whole story of like Sonic going up against classic Sonic, or at least one that looks like classic Sonic. Like, yeah, that's definitely a story that would never happen nowadays, because, you know, Sega's very protective of brand image with classic Sonic and shit like that.
Man, it's a good thing the scientists explained the characters are not sentient, otherwise this story would be very dark. Luke, go ahead.
Yeah, I think when this issue was released, Sonic recolors and fan characters were pretty much on their height of popularity on DeviantArt at the time.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this was during the 2000s, so yeah, it makes sense with the timing. Especially the story, like, you know, Sonic going up against classic Sonic. Something like that, like an evil classic Sonic. Only something like that would work in the 2000s.
If they do it now, they think it's like anti-LGBTQ statements or something with all the rainbow color Sonics.
No, Sega would just be more like, oh, we can't portray classic Sonic as a bad guy. No, he's our precious cash cow. We gotta shove his ass into everything. Because, you know, brand image.
Roger was talking about the rainbow Sonics.
Oh, that. Yeah. No, I still think that would be I still think that would just be a jab against fan characters. So, I mean, the Sonic clones don't really have any personality.
I mean, they do, but they're inconsistent with it, weirdly enough.
Yeah.
Like, they all have different expressions in every image they're in, but which one has which expression changes every time.
Just like real-life Sonic recolors.
Yeah. Oh, also, this issue, after they blow up Classic Sonic and Sonic leaves, he does his catchphrase that people aren't aware is a catchphrase. Woohoo, ha ha ha.
Oh yeah, something that's in the Sonic X comics, apparently.
Yeah, that's something apparently Ian Flynn writes for Sonic a lot, is him doing that. I think we briefly talked about this.
I don't remember him doing it in more recent issues. Like,
it does happen in IDW, actually.
Oh, I don't recall. But then again, it's been a while since I went through that Boarfest.
Even Surge did it once.
Silence.
Yeah.
I absolutely.
Did I get out?
Gotta break the silence somehow.
Anyway.
Yes.
I think my favorite panel. Hello?
Okay. Okay, here I am. I think that's what happened. I think I must have accidentally pushed a button and then I accidentally cut myself out.
Okay.
Okay. See, I thought you just went silent because apparently.
Oh yeah, the whole like mentioning Surge doing the whole woo ha ha ha, and then I was, oh, I guess that's why I don't remember it, because I don't give a damn about Surge.
No.
It's not very nice.
Anyway, I think my favorite panel in this comic is just Knuckles and Sonic just beating the hell out of H-Hog. Yeah. Knuckles just like yeets him over to Sonic, and Sonic just kicks him in the face. Or no, poor sorry.
Poor H-Hog.
Yeah, poor H-Hog.
Poor H-Hog.
Always being the butt of jokes in IMP and in this comic.
Also, how very mean of us to say that these are just lazy Sonic recolors, and constantly comparing the orange one to H-Hog.
Well, hey, at least H-Hog has, like, you know, pants and has a cap and whatnot, and has an H on his chest.
Well, when he
Somehow.
started out, he was pretty much looked like that.
Pretty much, yeah. And why is no one saying the green one looks like Bustin if we're gonna make IMP references anyway? I have more
because
lazy.
I guess Bustin just I feel like Bustin's like one of the least relevant characters. Like yeah, he was around for a while, and then after a while he just kind of disappeared from the series, or at least from what I remember.
I kept losing voice actors. I gave up on it.
Yes.
I mean, when I first saw Yellow Sonic, I immediately thought of Fleetway Super Sonic. And him throwing a brick through the window, something he would do.
That's a good point.
Also, to be completely honest, I forgot that Bustin was green. I mostly associate him with.
No love for Bustin.
I mostly associate him with his coat. So like.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Brown, yeah.
That's.
Well, he did leave the team like years ago.
Kind of.
Yeah, because it's been several years since Bustin showed up in anything in IMV. So I think the last I remember was that he had a non-speaking cameo in a summer-themed episode, but that was it.
Could be, yeah. Last time he spoke was in a Barber mini episode. But yeah, never mind IMP. That's a little obscure.
I think for me... Sorry, I think for me, my all-time favourite panel of this comic is where Bokun looks like he just cracked bricks, saying they just came over the hill.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
What's that coming over the hill? Is it a monster? Is it a monster?
No, it's the Sonic recolors.
No.
I think my favorite panel is like when we get our first introduction to the recolors, and like we see the red one who's like all pissed off, and Sonic's it just really looks like Sonic's really pissed off that his fur turned red.
Sorry.
They ran out of chili dogs, damn it! No.
Now I look like Knuckles.
Well, hey, maybe that
Which
explains
is ironic because
people...
Knuckles gets confused for Sonic in in the TV show.
Yeah, in the show, yeah.
Yeah.
Now people will think that, now people will think I'm Knuckles. Ah! But yeah, as we mentioned before, Ian Flynn wrote this one. So yeah, one of the few times he got to write for Sonic X.
I figured it's at least the second or the third one I saw his name. Yeah, go ahead, Sala.
Yeah, I think it's the second one.
Okay.
It's kind of interesting that like they are not just like, it's not just their quills that are colors. They all have like their own color tinted on them. So like there's a little bit of yellow all over the yellow one. There's a little bit of green all over the green one. Like even their eyes and teeth are slightly colored. Everything except their shoes.
Even the shoes
their
sometimes.
Shoes are still normal. Well, okay, yeah.
Yeah, the shoes have somewhat of a tint, yeah.
Yeah.
The picture I have on now,
They
you
still
can
keep their red.
Yeah.
Also, Sonic. Speaking of their shoes, Sonic's shoes look different in this. They have that weird section on the back.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's kind of cool.
Like like
It does look kind of cool, yeah.
I think it's supposed to be that little bit on the soles, but yeah, apparently it just went a bit too mental with the size.
Yeah, they made it too big, enough so that the red is peeking through it.
Yeah.
Oh wow, nice detail.
It's a cool look, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. Another thing that I kind of find as a cool look is seeing Robotnik in his nightwear, having his own like nightgown and nightcap and everything, with fuzzy bunny slippers.
Of course.
Fuzzy bunny slippers, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I said.
I was trying to repeat it, but I stumbled because it's kind of a tongue twister, I guess.
Yeah, funny fuzzy bunny slippers. Try and say that 5 times fast.
Good luck.
No. You can't make me. Also, I know this is like not like relevant to anything, but I just like put together like the belt buckle Bokun has. I don't know why I've never noticed that it just says M. What the heck does the M stand for?
I think that might be more of a reference to the Japanese version where Bokun didn't really have a name. It was just like Mecha or Rohan.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
But you turn it upside down, it turns to Wumbo.
Yeah,
that was exactly my next thought. Was like, you have it set to M for mini. when it should be set to W for Wumbo.
So yeah, it's a big M on his belt, that even though his name doesn't even have an M. So, inspiration for Captain Theory, perhaps?
There we go, yeah.
Oh no, you caught me. I never came up with an original idea in my life. Everything I did is stolen.
Well, I mean, then again, Robotnik's nightgown's not really that original. I mean, it's like the same outfit, just without the weird belt buckle things.
And without the pants.
Oh yeah, maybe that's his actual shirt, and then like the buckles are like just at.
That's very possible. Yes. Good to know.
So yeah, so right, how about whitewashed Ella? Like, what the hell was that all about?
I suppose
Maybe it was the lighting.
Josh.
Yeah.
I suppose Josh wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, I imagine it was Josh, because, like, yeah, I mean, it's a dark room, because, yeah, if that's supposed to be Ella, then there's, like, much darker to coincide with the darker room.
She's just so terrified she got all bleak. That's how terrified she's, the giant Garcia staring at her. Yeah, coloring mistake can happen twice in a row.
Yeah.
Hey, at least Cream
At
least finally Cream got an appearance. He hasn't shown up in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Poor Melty Man.
Yeah, poor neglected Cream. Even before she was neglected in the games for so long.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of, which is kind of funny. She only gets like one panel of screen time in this comic, which is quite ironic, because I've always kind of mentioned how, like, these days it seems like Cream has become more of a comic exclusive character, with how she's more active there than how she is in the actual games.
Pretty much, yeah. Oh well, I'm sure she'll show up in a new racing game.
Yeah, I imagine it's already been confirmed that she's in Crossworld.
Yeah. Though, of course, Melty's still
yeah, she
waiting
is in
for
Crossworld,
Vanilla
yeah.
to be playable.
Yeah, poor Vanilla.
Still, gotta give the comic credit for having Classic Sonic just show up and immediately killed off. That is, I did not expect that.
Yeah, that's definitely product of the times, because, like, yeah, they would never do it nowadays.
So enjoy it while it lasted.
Yeah, this was still during that phase when, you know, the main focus was on modern Sonic stuff and classic Sonic stuff was used sparingly. So in other words, we had it all good before the 2010s had to fuck everything up.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I also like the panel where all the group of Sonic Xers open fire with their toy-looking laser guns, including Jerome White.
Yeah.
So weird to see Jerome being badass, yeah, or at least trying to be.
Yeah, he probably just takes lessons from the stormtroopers. Like, oh yeah, I've got a gun, but he keeps missing.
Well, someone hit.
This is why. Yeah, this is why he's watched too many Star Wars films.
I love how confident they are that Sonic could not have possibly dodged their attacks.
Yep.
There's no way we could have missed. It's not like he has a history of dodging bullets or anything.
Yeah. Oh well. But hey, this time they were correct. They did hit him. Just the wrong him.
Yep. Just the wrong him.
Poor Classic Sonic. Oh well.
Yeah.
He had no soul anyway.
Yeah, it's the damn Neo classic Sonic here. Well, maybe that was it. This comic was predicting the future of our current Neo classic Sonic that we've been dealing with since Mania.
See, they didn't kill Classic Sonic. They just teleported him to Sonic Generations.
Plot thickens.
Indeed.
Yeah. Oh, I just noticed the message that Sala just sent. It's like, oh, he's still named Bo-kun in the Japanese. Well, I guess even then the name is like only brought up once in the Japanese version. I think that was the Sonic Battle adaptation. Every other time it's just, oh, the messenger robot or mecha or whatever.
Yeah.
I guess so. It has to be that. Otherwise, I have no idea. Either way, yep, he was Bo-kun in the Japanese version.
Yeah. Or here's an idea. Maybe the M stands for because as we've seen in the comics, he's like really addicted to like eating sweets and whatnot.
Munching, you mean? You just got out right when you said the word.
Yeah. Well, I said munchies, but
Munchies.
yeah, same thing.
Alright. Right, I'm starting to feel tired, so I think it's about time we wrap this up. Anyone has something else to mention?
Well, next stream's definitely going to be interesting when we get to the El Gran Gordo.
Wrestling time.
Yeah, there's definitely going to be a wrestling, and next stream's actually going to be a 2-part story. So yeah, it's been a while since we've done those.
Alrighty.
And as for Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, it's going to be hero themed.
Oh.
Over the Hill Hero with Captain Rescue and
Captain Rescue.
So now we had Tails theme, and now we have superhero theme. Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, I guess now we got ideas for the thumbnail for next time.
Yep.
All right, good to hear. Well, time to say goodbye then.
Yeah, but yeah, you.
Thanks everyone for joining me. I'll see you next.
See you guys later.
Yeah. Yeah, and tune in next time. Live stream, same Sonic time, same Sonic channel.
The Dissected channel.
Yeah.
Or Roger's YouTube channel.
Indeed.
Yeah, Roger's channel. Yeah. He used to have a stuffed Dissected channel, but that's been abandoned for years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Better to stick everything on one channel.
I think we've been doing this gig for nearly 4 years now.
Oh, cool.
Ooh.
Yeah, quite a long time. Yeah.
Small birthday celebration in order then.
Maybe, I guess. We'll see.
Maybe. I don't know. I'll have to look back at when we actually started.
Yeah.
All right.
We can, I'll look back. It's like, okay, so this day is our official 4th anniversary, and yada yada.
Time flies, boy.
Yep.
Well, bye-bye everyone, and sorry Jason, you finally joined in and we immediately leave. Oh wow, that happens.
Sorry about that.
At least you can go back and watch the whole thing. Yeah.
I guess so.
And enjoy our YTPs.
Yep. And remember, don't be so hard on poor Atog.
He may be a recolored Sonic, but his heart is also recolored.
Yeah. 15th May.
15th of May. Alright. So yeah, we're inching our way to our 4th anniversary.
Want to see me cry?
Do it.
You do it, I'll give you a promotion.
Promotion.